practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Jarnick.
And we are live in the studio with a big packed studio.
There's more people over there than there are over here.
First time in a while.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I mean, a lot of people.
And
a lot of people.
Yes. And we are at the last show of the month. Next week will be the, like, if we see if we slipped. You like that, don't you? You like that.
Like that.
You're like, yes, one more week. We don't have to.
Hopefully the laptop gets back by then.
I know, right? Our laptop almost blew up. We had bulging batteries.
It was literally, like the spacebar hasn't worked for a while on that laptop, and
now you know why.
It just took me like using it at home for a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's a bulging battery.
How long
is that? What you said?
Wait, let's go back to your bulging battery, Mark.
Is that a
battery?
Is that a bulging battery in your pocket?
Mm-hmm. Or is it a cream? Were you prescribed an antibiotic?
No, but they're gonna have to hold it for a week or two. So
they're gonna hold your bulging battery
for 2 weeks straight. Wow, yeah. Lucky you.
Ooh, now we're talking. I'm just lucky to not have that firebomb in my house.
The Adam Dunn Show on the Cannabis and Psychedelic podcast that rarely talks about cannabis, but they're usually tripping
on psychedelics.
Yeah.
But they're on psychedelics. So we covered half the basis there.
We did.
No, we're today we have we got Jenny back and the crew.
Is Jenny here yet? I can't see.
She's not back yet. She's not here yet. That's okay. She's now officially Adam Dunn Show material because she's late. That's perfect.
Oh.
See, if she was early, I would expect. Seeing her last time, I think she'd be. But now we know. The weed is good. The weed must be good.
5, 6, and
if Jenny's late, there you go. Right. I think so.
Oh, well, I saw these on the table here.
So we got a chance to chat a little bit last week, but that was just the beginning. So we're going to get a little bit more deep with all that and smoke some more of their awesome herb. What do we got here?
I don't know, but we might have a full set of jars by the end of the show.
Hazelnut, yeah.
Hazelnut cream times
Kemi Jo. Yeah, same as last time. Yeah, it's really nice. So it's got that flowery edge, but in a good way. Like, boom, just enough. Cool. And we got Green Bros Cullen coming on later. You've talked to him, right? That's all good.
Cullen is coming on at just after 6, and then we've got the DabX guys coming on to finish out the sesh. Chris at Chris. Yeah, that's 3 people, just in case anybody need.
Nice. And they're going to come through. We're going to have a little sesh with them and start planning our assault.
Global domination. The entire dabbing world.
I noticed that, he was, they were on Dougie Hitman's thing, the New York one. They're one of the main sponsors there too, which is good to see because it's like now you can see it starting to roll out. And before they were like, what is that? And everybody has their other rig in their hand and you're like, oh, well, let me explain it. So slowly it's going to be to the point where people get it. We'll
make sure that the whole Dutch Botanicals crew is fully versed in the art of the DabX Go. Best DabX on the market.
They're definitely going to be the next crew. If you want to check out the treat shows going on the same time as us today, that was a.
Oh, I know all about that.
To get it out of the way, we're going to have some other bodies filling the middle seat for a little while, but if you're more than welcome. J-Lo is actually live right now on Instagram on the treat show, which is going to be held Friday nights, I guess now.
Ding. Exactly.
No, wish her the best. 100%.
We got we have so next week we've got Kyle coming in. He's going to be guest host, and then we're going to have Kyle from Exotic Tech will be coming through. So then obviously any crypto minded or high tech shit will be going through him. And then we have the week after that Tim McCormick from Cultured. I told him we got 2 weeks. I was like, let's get the highest level questions for Tim, because Tim is like one of those guys you can't anything you throw at him, he'll come back and you're like, oh man, I never even imagined you would be able to answer that. So it's going to be like Stump Tim kind of a thing. So
But now we're into April, man, approaching the High Holy Day.
it is coming up quick. It's one of those years too where it's just like, it's a lot like how when the Cannabis Cup would come every year in Amsterdam, and it'd just be like, everyone's all stoked for it, and I'm just like, fuck, it's coming. So much extra work. It's not even fun anymore because your timing has to be perfect, and everybody's relying on you, and it all comes down to that. And sometimes you're just like, oh, you can't sleep at night. You fucking wake up in a sweat every morning because you're like, oh, if we don't get that in time, and everyone's trying to do the same thing, same time. Like, oh yeah, go to the printer. He laughs at you when you're like, I need these done in 10. Can I get them in 10 days? Like. And now we're getting closer to that time.
Well, speaking of Cannabis Cups, I met somebody who for the first time, and when we mentioned that I worked on the show, he's like, oh, wait a minute. I met Adam at the first Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam. I'm like, oh, really? And so he bought Boulder Wellness.
Really?
Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name.
I don't know.
Natalie from Loudbird, who came in with her husband, Brian, we're doing some consulting for them right now. So they recognized me when I walked in the door, and I was typical stupid.
I mean, if it really was, I mean, it wasn't the first, it was the sixth, but it was the first one that was open to the public, and that would have been 93. So it was either that one, or it could have been the year after, because a lot of people didn't even realize it went down, the first year, because it was maybe 200 people the year we did it, and then there was like 850 people the next year, and then there was like 3,000 the year after that. So just kind of, and then it just peaked out, because Amsterdam can't even handle 3,000 stoners, just because all the shops are about as big as this table. And so you're like, okay, well, we've got a line out the door, 40 people, and they just couldn't, you couldn't even hardly have a spot. The gray area is like...
Steve has to walk in sideways to get into the gray area. Tiny door.
Oh, shit.
But speaking of 420... For those of you who like to come to town and hang with us over 420.
Yeah.
It's on a Thursday.
No, we're not doing a Thursday. We're doing 420. We're going to go on Friday.
On a Friday at 421.
Yeah, we're not doing it. There's no way. Cause
that'll be fine too.
Otherwise, we're going to kill our 420. Everyone else is out doing shit. We got to go to other people's stuff and use their facilities. Then come to our thing the next day. But we'll be at Meow Wolf 421 in the parking lot, having our own little party, because that's what we did last year.
That's what we did.
It's going to be annual. I'm already seeing it. I'm like, this is going to become the annual thing.
No, was it last year?
Yes.
It was 2 years ago.
It wasn't for 420 though.
No,
but it wasn't.
It
was their
It was for
opening.
their opening, their grand opening.
So it's a year and a half, something like that. But anyway.
But we had the idea that it should be annual on 420.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it was cool. We just set up. We just set up in the parking lot, did our show, and we all go inside after, and we have a full sesh. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yep. We have Garrett from Pegasus Bags will be coming to town.
Perfect.
So he'll be around. I'm sure plenty of others. So Uncut Bush, I'm sure he makes a regular pilgrimage to Colorado for 420. So we'll see you then.
Nice.
Maybe Rosendogs would grace us with his presence. But I'm sure but it's New York, so he's probably hosting a big gala at Hippo
New York
Hydro.
is going off. I got a list today of like my friends giving me like. I made the mistake of saying, oh, maybe I'll come out there, because it was looking, and now she's like, I got you scheduled for 19 different events. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, it is literally just, they're going gangbusters right now. It's like,
so what? You're doing what? Where?
I'm not doing anything.
Oh.
I was the mistake of saying I may. And it was like, no, I think I'm not going to be able to do all those things. We got too much going on here. If you are in Denver, in about a month and a half time, we will be open. I guarantee you, because we're getting closer and closer.
Well, Garrett, if you're listening right now, it's going to be on the 21st, not the 20th. So adjust
Garrett,
your travel plans.
Change everything.
I'm sure you're within the 24-hour window to change them. Change your travel plans. Somebody send Garrett a text. They're on it right now. Thank you.
PAX Party House. Danny knows what's up. That was the most ridiculous. I had this. So the first cups were. So the one we did was at our own spot. We just literally got a spot and did it right at our own place, right? So, but the next year, the PAX Party House, which was like, it was hilarious because it was one building where you had the PAX Party House and the police station. It was all in the same building, right? So literally, all these Americans rolling in, and they're like, it's either the door to the police station or the door to the event. And it's just like, it was so fucking funny to watch people's, like, at a certain, because the cops didn't know what hit them, never seen it before in their life. And at a certain point, they had to go through because it was just so many people outside. The line was huge, and it was like no space. You were like standing like literally wall to wall with people, no ventilation. Place was fucking as smoky as you could get.
So like the Adam Dunn Show.
Pretty much. And yeah, I mean, somehow
It's not smoky enough in here right now.
Somehow it made it through, and it was, but every year was just like, they outgrew it within the first year, and then the second year they tried, and it was even worse. But yeah, good times. So anybody who went to those old PAX parties, but it was also like how all these events are. Like the first one where it's a little sketchy and weird is actually when you go the next year and it's all organized. You're like, kind of like the sketchy weird ones better. Like you can just do whatever the fuck you want. But
I don't like the sketchy weird ones.
Oh, come on. Everyone
Yeah, dude, because you can just do more stuff.
Yeah.
What stuff is
Shout
that?
out to PIFCon. Sketchy weird stuff. Shout out to PIFCon. No, but
What was sketchy? I heard that went off great. Aside
it
from being
was,
incredibly
but
smoky.
it would never pass if they were like, hey, let's get some guys in here to like see if this is like totally cool. They'd be like, yeah, you could do that. No, they would not. It was just basically once you see once you can't see ahead of you, you know already that it's a problem. And then it was, it's fun, but it's definitely that. It's almost like how we had. Remember how at the Cups in Denver when the first year when all the Cali guys came in and just like stacked pounds up like a wall behind them, and it was just like no pounds. It was just pounds going out the fucking booths, and you were just like, okay, that's fucking not supposed to be happening, but whatever. Yeah, it's good. Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
I remember those times, and then the MED came in and said, "You guys can't have fun anymore."
No, but the funniest part was that all the Colorado people followed the rules and got fucked, and all the Cali people were like, "We don't have rules because we're not from here. They have no license to lose," because basically they walked around and like, "Ooh, where are you from?" And if you were from here, you had, you were had any infractions, you could go directly to your place. Where if you're from Cali, they were just like, "Oh, okay, I guess we'll close up shop," but they were killing it, and you were just like, "Oh my god, this is out of control."
Yeah, there were a lot of complaints afterwards, especially because that system carried on for the next 2 years, right? No Colorado companies can have any cannabis in their booths, yet any out-of-state company, it was carte blanche to sell and do whatever they wanted.
Lame.
Well, typical for high times at the time.
Gasp.
Look at you.
Gasp.
I'm clutching my
What
pearls.
did I say? Ed wrote to me.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
How's Ed doing?
He is doing great. I spent a little time with him in Amsterdam and in Barcelona.
Oh, you're back on his like.
I'm back. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Back, baby.
Yeah.
He's
like he let it go for how long? About a couple weeks, but
No.
kept you in the dark.
He put me in my place.
Will he ever speak to me again?
He did, and he's my hero. I think it was because I posted that reel on Instagram, and he liked that. That was pretty cool. He's Ed Rosenthal. What do you say? He's my hero.
Dave's saving the world one reel at a time.
I'm trying. I don't understand the Instagram thing. I know that I would love to have a conversation with somebody who understands what this shadow ban is.
It's very simple.
Can we send you a whole article to read
No.
about it?
I want to have somebody come on and tell me how to get off of it, because I did go on to Google like
Start
how
a
you
new
can get
account.
rid of it. Yeah, that's basically
And
what
don't
you have to
talk
do.
about weed.
Yeah, put alcohol on it, dude.
Yeah, just put a bunch of.
Put a lot of spray it with
Every
Windex.
picture will just be a bunch of
Spray
12
with
packs.
Windex.
Let's do a bunch of 12 packs of different beer.
Yeah.
Even though we don't drink it.
That's
and
what
it'll
you
just
gotta
be,
do.
and
It'll
then,
be like-
but it'll go to top of the algorithm.
Top of the algorithm.
Yeah, dude.
Beer.
Beer.
That's a secret.
That's weird.
Yeah, dude.
But
Interesting.
it's interesting. You can see now. I'm wondering if the way that the shadow ban works. You notice they sort of changed the way you can copy a story and share it. So now there's an arrow so that you can just one click and you can put it on your story, except if you're shadow banned. Then you can't do that. Then you have to copy the link and use a third-party service.
Is that how you figure out that you're shadow banned? Because you're like, hey, it doesn't work.
I guess, or it's some setting they have saying I don't want to be shared.
Interesting.
Anyway, I didn't like
Whatever.
it. Makes me do work. I don't want to do work.
Should we,
I don't like
should we
work.
get JJ rolling in here?
Yeah, let's get Dutch Botanicals
Let's get
on.
this party started. Yes, sir.
So, JJ, come on down.
Come on, you're the next contestant on. The
And
Adam
bring
Dunn Show.
your
So one there and one here.
there. Yes.
One here and one there, yeah. And then we'll pull that over. Vinny's gonna come over and do the big mic adjustment because that's what he does.
That's what Vinny does.
That's Vinny's specialty. Oh, nice. Pull that
I
over.
would have had this joint rolled if there were the crutches. Somebody took the crutches. So,
No, I didn't.
oh, here they are.
That's super shiesty. Someone taking the crutches away.
Oh, this grinder left for 2 months.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back, baby.
It's back. Everybody get a yo tip.
Where are they?
Oh my goodness.
Pull them out.
Oh, we got hash for you guys.
That's a lot of hash right there.
Nice.
So,
Thank you.
Dutch Botanicals, this is JJ. He is their head grower. And if I had a good memory and was paying attention when you told me your name earlier, I would...
My name's Natasha.
Natasha. They are the growers at Dutch Botanicals. And what are we smoking right now?
That is our New York Cheesecake number 3. So that is Kemi Jones and hazelnut cream. And that is the third pheno. That we had like 10 seeds that we popped, and a lot of them were really heavy on the hazy type terps. So we were looking for something that was really, a 50-50 of both of those strains, and that right there is it. So it's just like pure sweet cream off of the hazelnut cream. You lose all the funk, and you get this really nice piney from the Kemi Jones, this Kemi piney. And I think you get a little bit of this like tree fruit, almost like a mango-y type thing to it. It's really sweet.
Sweet.
I love that terp.
I love that. So, Natasha, how long you been with Dutch Botanicals?
On 4/21, it will be a year.
Okay, nice. Perfect date to remember. Easy remembering day. Right?
Oh yeah, I actually met JJ at Verde, and that was my 4/20 was my last day there, and it was a nice time there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we love Verde. That's our peeps there.
So do I.
Chuck is the man. So I knew Chuck in Amsterdam, so it was kind of always funny to come back here and then see him open it. I watched the turmoil of running a spot here through him, because he would come to my spot and be like, dude, they're fucking with me so much. Like, he was so many hurdles and hoops, and he had to deal with, like we all do, partners and the bullshit. And so Chuck was always a good one to get the litmus test on opening and running a thing here, But he always had good people and good weed, that's for sure. Like every time I went there was. How long were you there for?
Like a year and some.
I think you were there like a year and a half. I was there for like 3 years, I believe. Yeah. So she joined my team. I was a lead grower there. I had 4 rooms, or 3, sometimes 4 rooms, and we had to change out a lot of the soil. We did a bunch of new stuff. We put in new bulbs, new everything. We just like re-spiffed up the place right when I got there. They got new rolling tables, and we were running lean for a while, and then I got Natasha. I got some other people that really helped us take off. And we all just sort of learned living soil and what to do for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. We were hitting records for a while.
Nice.
It was cool.
Yeah, that was our first room together. Like I got promoted to Grow Tech, and we tried new methods that no other team was trying, and we set records in one room, and then we beat those records with the next room, which was still under like JJ's lead.
Donut.
Oh, nice. So was it did you guys have dueling JJs there at a certain point, or was it like?
Oh,
did you guys overlap each other? Or
yeah, I met JJ. I met Top Dog like a year before. I was there with him for like a year.
Does it make you call him Top Dog?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Is there JJ1 and JJ2? How do you guys separate? I
mean, he's going to be JJ1. I'll defer to the master breeder. I was really happy. I was able to run some of their first stuff that him and Julian started putting out together in my rooms before they can really set up the greenhouse for everything they wanted to do.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was so cool. I used to love that was one of the first times I really got into pheno hunting and breeding and stuff. That's when Julian started telling me or teaching me how to look for how to see if something washes and stuff like that, how to do sand tests and stuff like that. So I thought that was so cool. You could look at one plant like, oh my god, dude, you look just like your mom, but you smell just like your dad. So
yeah, it's always nice. That's the thing. For so long, everybody was just doing, 8, 10 plants, 12 plants. You can't really get much out of that. You know what I mean? You're getting 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a piece of the puzzle, but once you get over 100, you start to really see the patterns develop. Like, oh, okay, well, there's 20% of those and 40% of those and a couple outliers or whatever. And so when you get those numbers, then it just automatically makes everything like you just have a higher chance of finding the one, because people don't realize, especially like we were talking about haze earlier. Haze is like a 5% might be the one, you know what I mean? So you have to grow 100 just to get 5 good ones to choose from, you know?
Right.
And then if you don't, if say you grow like 10 of them, your chances of finding one is extra hard, because you might not even get any in you might just have a complete washout, just because it's not very consistent thing, and it's really hard to get all the taste and the right taste with. I mean, structures like almost like with the part where people just give in on. You're like, oh, fuck it, I don't even care if it doesn't yield anything. This is the one, you know what I mean?
Right.
But to get that other part is really hard. So
right. So that's what we found when the first thing that they did was they reversed their hazelnut cream. That's where that was gifted those seeds, and that was like it was the first time when we were running everything that was from the hazelnut cream male, that we're finding that everything was coming out so dominantly on the haze side, which is not great for looking for hash. So that's why, like, luckily I found 2 out of the 10. So 20% run on something that might actually wash for hash out of a hazelnut cream Kemi Jones wash. When both of those together, sounds like, oh dude, that's an automatic hit. That sounds like, man, everything there is going to wash, and then nope, like everything is so overly dominant, like touch the plant and it is just like pure oil on your gloves, and you're just like, man, I don't know why. It's because that hazel is so there.
That's fucking nice,
dude.
It smells exactly like the flower, though, right there. Like that's the part that I'm like, okay, there it is.
That's thank you to Steve there.
I love it. It's always like
Right.
Like literally, like that's like the holy grail is just that everything,
right? Like fruit by the foot there.
Well, hold on, we're just gonna say.
Is this another one of these? Doesn't make it past the end of the table.
No. Listen, if you'd have done this for me and stopped me from smelling that too soon in the cycle, I would have appreciated it.
Right.
You might appreciate it if you allow me to just play with the order here for a minute. No problem.
Let's do it.
To be honest with you, that smells like pure gasoline.
Yes.
Not. I mean, it hit.
No,
like,
I mean, I'm still liking the other one more than this. Right?
Oh no, they're still really, really good. But I'm glad because it would just have.
Yeah, I feel like the organic fruits and veggies that we add to the compost bins really pick up the terp.
Oh yeah,
Sorry,
gas. That one's pure gas.
This one's got like
That's
a
the
GMO
Puruvita.
kind of bottom to it.
This is really good too.
GMO Puruvita.
Not that they were. I'm just grading them in terms of excellence. But here you go.
I feel like them.
It's like the sweaty GMO one. That's good.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I smelled yours last week, and mine just gets that sweaty chemi. It doesn't really.
Yeah, it's more on this exactly. Exactly.
So that's
This is fruity but nice.
Well, like to expand on what Natasha was saying, like we have our own worm bins. We inoculate our beds every time with a new compost and worm, selection out of the bins, and I think it really lends to a certain. It sounds the terroir, like the taste of our dirt, our soil. It really lends itself to being way more creamier, and so a lot of that still has like an underlying cream note to it on all of those. That's what I love about living soil, to be honest with you. You can really taste every different like strain differently, but then that has that underlying
Yeah, still this is it right here.
So make sure we.
That's the one right there.
Did.
Just because it's like nothing like it.
I love it, and that's an all
like-
day. You could dab that at night and morning. I just love that one so much. Dude.
I mean, just on this side, but definitely. I mean, I love GMO too, but it's just like kind of like you get it's just like a scale like this within a scale. You know what I mean? It's not like this is kind of like I can just right away just go, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like there's a like a when you get stuff that's not real like definitive, you know what I mean, and it real flighty, and you're like trying to figure it out, and people, that's what you want, you know what I mean. Whereas if you're like, yep, that's that, it almost kills it, like kills the fantasy part of it all. But
right, no, you want them coming back. You want a little more. Oh, I love that one. That one right there is that's one of our favorite. That was one of the first new pheno hunts we did. I started last October with Jenny, October 21, I should say, and the first thing we did was we had a lot of older strains, and we did a bunch of test washes, and we wanted to start focusing solely on hash production, really. Our idea being, if it produces for hash, then it'll definitely have good flower. So far it has. We did a huge cull, and we've been knocking back the stuff that doesn't wash so much, and then doing pheno hunts, and then sourcing locally for clones that we know do both. And those NYC Jeezy and the ZZGZ, those are actually a hunt that we did with Caesar. He came in house, he helped us out. He helped us reverse some stuff, hit everything, and then we did a nice little pheno hunt just now. That ZZGZ itself, I had
say that real fast.
ZZGZ. It's I say ZZGZ. That's like internal referencing. It's actually Barn Chem, but that is like Zazot's number 3 times the spritzer cut of grumps. That right there are grumps. I have a little bit back there too. That's what we won our silver medal in the High Times last year for live rosin. So after we did that, we got with Caesar. We did a little test action, and then we started hunting a new strain or a new hunt. So that Boring Chem, the ZZGZ there, it had 100 seeds at first, and I will never do 100 counts. Like we were just talking about it with I could not do that. We have a much smaller grow. We have a much smaller grow. That was a whole room.
So would you do, like 2 per or something? Or
I had to take 2 retention cuts per, which is just about kill the whole veg room, like of space.
I know, because you got to wait so long, and then you're like cutting them back, and then they're bushing out. And
oh my God, does this one look at Herm? Kill him right away. We just gotta immediately make that call. But we found some real hitters in there. So that right there is just a mix of a bunch of them, and I'm rerunning some of the best washers that we have right now. So we have that, and then we have the hazelnut cream times the spritzer. That one's called Nutcrackers. That one is my favorite. Oh, Nutcrackers is great. These are all like New York references from NYC Caesar. So Nutcrackers are like they're the little juices they sell in the summer on the corners that are spiked with liquor.
I am not familiar with those.
Same. I'm learning something new.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I was today old when I learned what a nutcracker was.
Well, next time you're in Brooklyn or Queens, guarantee you find someone with a nutcracker plug on a nice hot summer day. That right there though. Those 2 washers together it's the hardest one. Usually I have a parameter that I'm not going to rerun anything in production to sort of get the nice, feel of the canopy, unless it washes or goes to rosin at 3.5%. I had, I want to say 14 of the 22 of those that finished out go over 4%. So it's almost like an abundance, a curse of abundance right now. I'm not like tooting any horn. It's actually that's when I have to start narrowing it down for the uniqueness.
Right. You're gonna love my nuts.
I love your nuts, Vinny.
Salty.
But yeah, in general, it's a good problem to have, right?
Right.
It's like, but it is hard because it's hard to cull. I mean, literally, I tell people that's probably one of the harder parts of breeding in general is the culling, because you're like, sometimes it's easy, of course. You're like, well, this is not going to make it, but there's times where you're like, you do it, and then like a week later, you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? That could have, there's always a bridge, So sometimes there's some things that you had it for a reason, you kept it around, and then there's a certain point where it's like, maybe you've moved 3 times and you've literally taken that with you, you know what I mean? And there's times you never used it, but it's like collecting junk, basically, really. It's like at the end of the day, you're like, one day I'm going to use this board. And I know it's going to fit. And when it does, you're like so stoked. You're like, oh yeah.
If you had the space, would you have like that 2-week, like, I'm not going to kill you yet room? Like, I'm going to stick you in there, and I'm going to just, if I can get by the next 2 weeks of going, hey, I want you again.
No, I mean, it is funny because my mom is like opposite. She's ruthless, She comes in and just, she's like, what are you keeping that around for? And I'm like, well, and it's funny too because she came into the room today, and I got a freak show growing, right? And she hadn't even seen it at all, and she just was like, what are those, re-veg? Like, are those re-vegging or something? I'm like, no, those are the plants. And she's just like, what? And she's looking at it and like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, yeah, I know. Isn't it crazy that we don't need it anymore? But it would have been the best plant to have back in the day, because you could have just grown that anywhere and people wouldn't even notice it until the last second. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, what are those on there? Because if you vegging it, it looks just like a fern, right? It has no, I mean, even though it is underneath the fern shaped like cannabis, it's still, because of all the just action going on, you can't see it. So my mom's like looking right at it and just like, But yeah, it's funny because I'm just using it because I want to breed with it, just to track it, because it's trackable. You know what I mean? It's such a trackable trait that you can't ignore it. You know what I mean? It's not like maybe, because if you take all these polyhybrids, put them together, they all look the same anyway. So it's really hard to see what is doing what, you know?
Definitely.
Whereas if you have some sort of definitive trait like that, you're like, okay, well, 25%, because I have one of them. Of the 10 that's I popped, one is not a true freak show. It's, you know, it's don't, and I'm like, that's going to be probably the one I want, because it's already past the point of like being really weird, you know what I mean? But it's still got that heavy sawtooth thing going on. Where you're like, okay, that's.
I have a couple
Past
of those
the point of a true freak show.
Yeah, it's like
You said that.
It's just it's kind of gotten out, because the minute you cross it out, you get a lot. Because I've seen some. It goes into either one direction, which is not so good, where it really thins out and gets even worse.
Right.
And then other times it gets more like a normal plant, but still has.
I have 2 holdouts that are showing that trait in a new hunt that I'm doing with somebody else, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna keep watching, make sure you don't develop any, you know, male flowers or anything. I don't want to see nothing here, but I'm gonna keep you going, because like you said, you're like, you're so interesting. I want to keep you going.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's literally a grower's plant. It's not gonna be. I don't know if it's a smoker. It looks like something, because every time nobody's ever said it's great. They always just say it's, you know, acceptable. I guess it's in the 20s, like 18 to 20, probably real kind of. But
mid mellow stuff.
But if you can get the trait onto something that actually has some taste to it. So when you started with JJ, were you growing before on your own, or you had like sort of some experience from back in the past, or what was your deal?
Crazy story. My family in Puerto Rico, my grandfather, he grew sugarcane and citrus and avocados and all different types of exotics, and taught me at age 3.
Nice.
And so I started growing like my own like citrus grove, and then whenever I was 16 and found weed, like I was already experienced with different plants, and I read in High Times grow tomatoes. So I grew a fuck ton of tomatoes, and my parents thought I really wanted BLTs, and so now they can grow tomatoes. And it sounds like your mom grows weed.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
can you call my mom, please?
Well, what's funny is like my mom would always follow it was the reverse. Like she'd be following my footsteps instead of me following. Like she moved to Amsterdam because I was in Amsterdam.
If you're listening to this, he doesn't mean that. He loves you.
It's
he
true.
Knows
and then
you taught him.
she, this is the thing. She was there when I was setting up all my grows and stuff, and she was learning from the beginning. But she like had way more of an attentive mind, and she lived there, you know what I mean? So I just ended up getting the free ride where I had my mom who was like on it and just like green thumb naturally, and then I would do all the cuttings, and I would do all the seeds, and I do all the starts, and I do all the selection, but every time like it was classic too, because you know normally when you leave town, you come home, it's fucked, you know, right? With me, it was the opposite. Like, if I left for 2 weeks and came home, I was like, wow, it looks better than ever. It's like, yeah, because you're not here fucking it up. Because I'd come in and be like, you got to try. I'd be like, you got to try this new thing. And I'd be trying new stuff. And she'd be always like, you know, she's on it. She's lifting every pot, checking everything. You know, she's always like been hands-on, very attentive.
It's the mother's care.
And I was like trying to be like, oh, how can we make this easier? Like, oh, let's hook up this, you know, we'd hooked up the dripper system and it would all go wrong and everything would be like, you know, oh man, not getting the right pressure over here, you know, and I'd be like tinkering the whole time. Whereas she was always just like consistent about it. Which part of Puerto Rico were you in?
My family's from Camuy, so it's like the west side, and like it's more like farmland.
Right.
And so they had a homestead. And so I was just born around growing, and I had my first grow back in Georgia, and it was in between 2 canine units. And so I made dog treats and people treats, and I would just share with the neighbors, and so it was just very friendly, and I guess they never noticed the smell of my closet, and
Dog treats. Well, over here they have the big dog factory, which is a good cover that all the grows are around the factory, because it's like one thing that'll kill weed, dog food. Like that will definitely destroy the food.
Kill almost anything.
Yeah. Because I did a hemp. It was a hemp project, but it was in Lattice up in the mountains there, and it was like,
Lucky.
and it was funny because we were doing seed production, so we were, growing with lights in a valley. Everybody's there grows. It's all bananas and coffee there. So pretty much the entire area is like, oh, you're the weed guys. And we're like, no, we're just, because we're doing hemp right at the moment, like the day, like the president said you could do it. We were there like ready we already had our shit already going. We were like, all right, now we're going, and so the minute that happened, we turned it on. But it was the guy who was our partner was actually he built greenhouses. So it was like the perfect marriage. He's the guy who builds all the greenhouses in the area. So it was cool, but it was also kind of like very hard because it was the dew point there is like 61 degrees, right? So every single night you just got a full, and so I was like, it's okay for veg, but we're gonna have a problem, right? Once we got into flower, it's just like it was a race, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden we had to put sides on it and dehues, and I was just like, this is what's such a waste of energy and time, and like to do all this, you know what I mean? Because it was, it was just like, it was a rough one, but it was, I think Puerto Rico was a good experience to go there and, work with the people there. That was, and then also was, the hemp little bump, right? Everybody thought they were going to be millionaires, and then it turned into just like.
Are you saying you were in Puerto Rico and that's when you invented powdery mildew? Brought it around everywhere?
No, they've had plenty of it. Don't you worry.
Okay.
Dave's like beating dead horses over here.
Well,
that was a totally different story. Had nothing to do with it. I know. I'm just saying it was because of the dew point, it made it impossible.
Yeah.
to
What do you
flower.
do?
No, you either grow strains that work in those environments. Right. That's the only thing you can do, and do it out. But this was like This is an attempt at a greenhouse making seed production, which worked to a point, but it was not as effective as it could have been because
it's just not conducive to it. Right?
No,
That's crazy. I wonder if you could add like some super deep French drains to in layer systems.
It's just because it's saturation on the whole thing, top to bottom on the leaves. Like if you walk in, you walk in there at that moment, and you're like, oh my god, you can just see it looks like every single plant's been perfectly sprayed, just with the right amount of. Like if it was in the right situation, you'd be like, nice job,
perfect, right?
But it's not, because it's like dark and it's
week 8 or it's like week 8. You're like, this is soaked.
Yeah, it's dark and it's warm, and you're like, oh, this is bad. You know what I mean? Everything's bad.
I grew up in Miami, so my first times ever trying to grow, I got some like just bag seed, threw it in a little pot, and then I had a giant backyard with like half of it, like it was like an acre long. I would make a little track in the back of this like sawgrass, mat down a circle, and then I put some plants out there, and then I started running to the same problem. And that's the first time I learned about like botrytis and butter rot, and how I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So then we tried to do this, and we tried to do that. It was impossible. I had to go indoors.
I mean, that's the one beauty of Colorado, is it's such a different environment, right?
Yeah.
With the dry, it's a little bit too extreme on the other side. So you're like, damn it, now somewhere in between. Can we just have like a perfect in between? I think about it all the time with all the jars of weed that you're like, yeah, fuck, if you don't put it in something, then you might as well. It's going into hash production at that point, because it just turns to dust. You know what I mean? So, do you go back home a lot, or?
I need to go back more. It's been like 4 years, because I went before I moved to Denver.
And then COVID, of course, didn't help.
Yeah.
For traveling and stuff.
What is the legality in Puerto Rico?
I think it's medical, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, well, yeah, they've had that for a while. I don't know if they went rec or not. Did they?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Oh,
I haven't heard it.
No. Oh, you would know. Maybe.
Well, I know there's always La Perla.
Right.
So that's always.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's also, once you're in an island situation, you know that it's already bad enough here with, as many shops as there are, and the number, and it's always about the number of people, and then all of a sudden everybody outgrows what they can produce, and then you end up with this whole, like, nobody really putting out the quality because.
Offer Natasha Buccianti.
Oh, do you want to medicate it?
I would love a chocolate to go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You can take them to
What's
go.
the difference?
Just shape mostly, and so
Vinny.
they're the same chocolate.
I just had some.
But it's super high-end chocolate from
Amsterdam in Spain.
So
I just had coffee in mine.
Yeah. There's a coffee nut.
That
in the
coffee one's
Chunkies.
pretty good.
They're the chocolates where you start eating them and then you keep eating them, and then, like Adam says, he'll eat everything in his house. I just sleep the night. They're really good.
you get home and you're so hungry. You're like, oh my god, why? I've never been
What's the milligram on these?
a lot.
Unknown.
Okay, cool.
Enough to party.
Technically speaking, a lot.
Well,
lot.
Vinny does, in his defense, he just pours the bottle in, of extract. So it's the whole bottle.
time to be sober.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Nice.
It's the
Ganja
whole
roulette.
bottle.
It's about 40 milligrams per gram. 40
Oh,
milligrams
now
per
you're
gram.
getting all
The
technical.
syrup?
Dude, I just ate 40,000 milligrams then.
It's all right. You'll be okay.
Wow.
40,000 milligrams. Good lord. To the moon.
No. Whatever too big one of those were.
Oh, you're,
If I start slurring my speech in 40 minutes, then we'll know.
oh, you're about 500 milligrams. No problem.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet. Yeah, they're all looking at me, shaking their heads, going, oh my God.
Oh my god.
I'm a lightweight. I'm like 10, 20 milligrams, and so 500 is a good amount for.
Oh, that should work then. Yeah, that should hit the button.
I'm
On
partial
point.
to the RSO gummies. Those RSO gummies are the best for after a long harvest day or like turning beds or something. You eat those RSO gummies and wake up the next day like, brand new.
I just ate one of those too.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, how are you expand? What are you going to bring in? What's the new? What are you going to run new? Or are you going to just stick with what you have right now?
What do you mean there?
Like, what's the next? You're going to come in here in a month and you're going to show us something. What's it going to be? It's not going to be more of the same. What's it going to be?
Oh,
What's on deck? What's on deck right now?
Well, I'm going to be I'd have finished out the hunt official for the for Caesar stuff right there, and then I have a test run I'm doing for the Crystal Rose Seed Company. They're out of Maine. The guy's pretty great. He has he has a couple different males that I found this guy one night just like scrolling on Neptune, and I'm like, wow, this guy is one of the only breeders that actually put notes on Neptune, and all of them specifically show him hunting only for hash. So I was like, that's great for me. So he has a couple different runs. I'm having I have like 3 or 4 of his OGKB times triple Kush times like 3 or 4 other strains, race fumes, which is gas tanker times that OGKB. I have something else from his Great Pie Wedding Crasher. Oh man, we're gonna have a bunch of different crazy terps coming around. I'm hunting for every spectrum as we can get. I have a couple things from Masonic that are showing some nice hazy stuff. We're calling it Pitmobile. It's his White Cadillac times Sour Trop times Wilson. That right there is like heat. I can't wait to bring that one around.
Nice.
That one's going to be like getting harvested next week, so
That's
I'm
awesome.
stoked for that too.
Well, that was a good answer.
Oh my lord! I just
So what do you like most in the garden? Like as far as like what's your go-to? Like some people like cloning, some people like take care of just looking at your flower. Or you do everything. You
I do the whole thing.
I know. But is there anything that you like? I mean, what do you personally like gravitate towards? Anything in the garden? Some people are like obsessed with IPM, right? That's all they want to like. And other people don't see anything. They walk in a room and just like do, and they don't see any of it. And other people have like eagle eyes, and they're really good at that. And then other people are like, just like making clones because clones are fun because they're reproducing lots of stuff.
She's the bug extraordinaire.
She's a bug. Yeah, she's on that.
And the experiments.
Naturally.
And experiments, yeah.
The compost tea, experimenting with different temperatures, with different amounts of items, and even letting that ferment a little bit until.
I was gonna say ferments are where it's at right now too, right?
Yeah, and then you spike it with some molasses, and it just. Oh my gosh! I wish my phone wasn't dead because I would show you all this crazy video. I can send it later because it's like the head is this big and it's just super jiggly, and you just poke it and it just keeps jiggling.
Natasha keeps me honest. Every time I want to revert back to my corporate shill way, she's like, "No, come on, dude. You know you're better than this."
Now we're doing like no-till. That's awesome. And we're amending with the, like JJ was saying, with like the compost material, so it's like black gold. Mm-hmm. It's like the forest floor of El Yunque. Like it's black gold, and it's full of life because we have more bugs than just worms. Mm-hmm. And so putting that directly on like the
miles and stuff like that.
Yeah. We go to Nature's Good Guys. For anyone knows, paid. But Nature's Good Guys is really nice website where they got the cheapest of all the beneficials, predatory mites. So she put a bunch of them in the worm bins, and now they're just like repopulating for me, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you take the spent compost tea material, you can put it directly on the root balls, and then put the worms on that, and they'll eat it, and then take it right to the rhizosphere. The whole like dance, and it's just like we'll be taking the root balls out, and then we'll have to like shake it out because there's so many worms in it.
That's awesome.
They're like, no, we're just comfy here, and they'll actually break down the root balls in about 3 weeks.
It's always nice to put avocado down for a little special treat, right? And then
so she always goes to
more than avocado.
We go with Natural Grocers, and she goes over to Natural Grocers, and we get whatever produce we can get. Separate out, cabbages, broccoli, stuff like that. Everything else goes either some into the bed, and then the other ones into the worm bin.
Sure.
So now, because of that, we have a bunch of volunteer plants. We have.
That's why
we have tomato plants 8 foot tall and stuff like that.
I'm sure you wish you could have Puerto Rico here for that, like just to be able to get all the mangoes and all the different things you could then ferment and make.
Right.
Yes. The only problem there is that everybody's like glyphosate maniacs over there. I couldn't believe how much they used.
The what?
Like Roundup and stuff. Like that was the sad part, because I was on a farm, and I was sitting there, and I'd wake up in the morning and I see this guy pull up in this like truck that looked like it was made out of rust, you know what I mean? Had nothing left on it, and it was like just tanks on the back, and he just went up and down every single row and just nailed it. And I was just like, oh, I can't eat anything from here now. Like I was like, when I first got there, I was like, oh, look, bananas and all this, and then I was like, I'll probably not be, because I just watched the guy like saturate them down, you know what I mean? And it was just like, and they were like just ingrained in them, they had to do it. And I was like, you probably don't, but now you're locked in it now. Like this land he's been spraying. I was like, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm like, all right, well that's
even better.
Not a good thing, right? So that was the kind of bummer. And the fact that there wasn't such great vegetable selection, considering you were in such a great place, because they just would import crap. It was just really weird. The food there was a strange situation. I was like, this is rough, because you'd think there'd be much, way more abundance, but it seems like everybody was kind of like relying on imports, which I was like,
which is a total. It is most like that is like the way for some there, but like my family, they had the homestead, so it was like you grow enough food, fruit, vegetables, and proteins to feed your family, and if you have more, you fucking party. And so like they would jam out and invite the neighbors and like call their friends, and like him and his band would just enjoy life with the fruits and veggies and the barbecue, and then they would make rum caña because he would grow sugarcane, and
nice. Of course.
So I would just be chilling in the hammock and just hanging out and listening to that, and finding out that there's this crazy like nail polish remover that they're drinking, all these adults.
Yeah, great.
Good stuff. Polish.
Good stuff. Yeah, I know.
It's rum caña. You feel like a dragon when you drink it. Have you tried?
No. I mean, I would love to feel like a dragon.
It's like you exhale, it feels like you're gonna breathe fire.
Can we make some on the here? Is that possible? Let's do that.
What's that?
I don't drink anymore, but
no, that would be the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
It's like Puerto Rican moonshine.
Oh, for sure. No.
For sure, I mean, down there's so many sugar.
What is this thing you got here? I'm just seeing a different dab rig.
It's an ice fire. And because I used to work back of house in kitchens, my hands, the nerves, like it's shot for heat. So it's like I could grab a pan from the oven if it's hot and just put it on the stove. So this will, it stays charged for me like about a week. Wow. And I've like knocked it over, and it's fallen over like, from a table, not on like cement, but on wood, and it's stand the test of time because it has like this rubber bumpers, and then like I like the setting of like 420, so actually have like a big dab in here, and it's GZZZ or the Boricua or Boricuan.
Feel free to dab. Go, enjoy. Yeah, please.
But yeah, I love it. I was actually checking out yours because the loading system is interesting and.
Yes, sir.
The DabX.
The DabX. Go.
Slow motion.
I've known
side.
Chris Ratto for over a decade, and he designed this, and it's just, in my opinion, next level dabbing. That looks really cool, though.
Is that adjustable like to different temps? Like
Yeah. Well, it's got 4 heat sensor, temperatures.
It doesn't have a digital setting.
Not
so
a digital.
You can't like go.
But this was also the prototype units, right? So who knows what is coming in the future.
Yeah, and he also, the thing is, he set it so that you, instead of cooking it and going really long, it does short, like 15-second intervals. So you just gotta keep, just hit it again. You know what I mean?
So you just load it, you smoke, the reclaim drains straight down, not into your bowl. Nice. So the next hit is just as fresh as the first hit you took.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fire function. This you have to like clean it out.
Yeah, that was kind of like the problem in most of the units is that you're coming through all of the reclaim to get to the hit. So it's kind of like illogical. When you start looking at it that way, you're like, oh yeah. Especially if you don't keep, if you don't clean it enough, it's like, holy shit! Like this, half my shit's in my pipe.
Yeah, I just had to give my thing a little like spa treatment before coming here because like I didn't realize like how.
You too?
Yes.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to.
It's fun.
Yeah, well, I have to go, just to keep this up.
Wait, I was talking about for my system, not the actual spa.
Yeah, when was the last time we got to go to a spa, right?
So what do you mean?
So how many more people? How many more people right now do you have? Like you guys work together?
I wanted to. Right now it's just us.
Yeah, you guys run the whole thing at the moment.
The living soil, yeah.
In the living soil section, we have 2 hydro or cocoa, normal cocoa pots on rolling tables.
Gotcha.
We have one person who runs 2 of those rooms. Ryan, he can't be here. He's watching the grow for us.
Gotcha. But someone's got to do it. Right? That is the curse.
Someone's got to be there, right?
Right.
But yeah, he rocks out 2 rooms by himself, and
nice. What newts is he running through that one? Do you know?
He does he does GH base with like a Botanicals boosts and everything else.
It's funny. That's like that was like the transition phase for. GH, 100%. Obviously, almost anybody who's been in the game long enough, that's how they started. Right. Because that was the only choice.
That's exactly how I started.
That's how I think everybody I know. I think
Rockwell and GH.
Yeah. And when I moved to Holland, it was funny because another JJ, the third JJ, right? He owns a company out there called. So makes it even more confusing. Advanced Nutrients, Advanced Hydroponics, right? And it's just a shop there, and he knew Larry from GH, right. And so he was coming from America. When I met him, it was 93. So he came and he was part of the whole Northern Light crew, and he knew Greg and all those guys, and it was like he was like bailing out of Seattle, came to Amsterdam, brought clones. But he only knew how to grow with GH. That was his thing, right? So he was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So he started ordering it from Larry. Larry was sending it over. And at a certain point, he just reverse engineered it and started his own new. That's why it was Advanced Hydroponics. And that was just like his own reverse engineered, adjusted to the Dutch water and all that, because that was also a big problem we had. Just like, and then at a certain point, there was a time where I was the distributor for GH. It was like, there's nobody else doing it because he needed so I had a business, so we ran it through there. Right. And it was like, double tap. It was just like, I'm a clothing store, but I got GH. It's like, nutrients. And so it was really funny. It was just like but it was hard because it was like, you can't really do that on any kind of scale, right? Without having like a warehouse and being, and Holland is the exact opposite, right? So it's like, I'm fucking carrying water to try to get distilled water so I can make these mixes.
So you can actually do it.
And it was just like, it was too much. And also the biggest problem was they shipped over in 55-gallon drums, and they left them outside of they were outside, and so
in the weather, so it froze out.
One of the micro dropped, right? So then all of a sudden, and all I was selling it was in big amounts to big growers, right? It wasn't like I didn't have time to sell it to little guys. And so I only had like 6 customers, and they were all humongous growers. And the one guy came in like, what? And everybody, just one after another, kept coming in like, dude, complete failure. Like plants were just, I was like, it's all your fault. No, I was like, all right, I'm out. I am out because this is too high.
I am not taking this off.
Yeah, it was too much for me at the time. But then just realized, and that was in like 95.
Wow.
So it was kind of funny. It was like, but yeah, GH is the sort of godfather of it all. And then after that, Botanicals was for a little while.
Right.
And it's nice. I like it, but
it's not bad. So we also do. He also blends, and he does like almost like a mulch with our compost bin, with our like worm compost and everything. So that helps. There's like a little bit of microlife. We're not like, and then he does a lot of our sprays with our IMOs and our labs and our compost tea and stuff like that. So
it's just kind of,
we call it hybrid hydro, but it's still hydro. But that's
hybro.
It comes out really, really, really nice. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I started off in this industry. I started off with GH. I started off in the industry with Kind Love, and they run salts. But like, honestly, like, it is so much easier to run Living Soil. Like, you can run out. You don't have to worry about the lockout. Like, I don't want to just like sound like some shill for the big Living Soil, but I just like, I find it's easier for me. I mess up. I'm lazy, and then the soil just takes care of everything for me.
Right. Do you guys have? You ever have any kind of like die-offs with the worms? Like any issues where something went wrong, or they just flourished the entire time, pretty much?
Like if
because it's something too dry or something. Because I always notice in Colorado, it's like you have to really be on it with your moisture levels, and worms don't like it dry, and it can dry up here really quickly if you don't pay attention. So. Cause I had that with little, I put a little bit in, and then it's like, I don't know where they went. Did they survive or not,
Yeah, it's like if it's too dry, they'll like burrow to the bottom, but you only have so much time, so you definitely don't want it to get bone dry. And I've seen people let it get bone dry, and it's like a horrible experiment gone wrong. And I'm like, why is this grower just letting it get so dry? And it's like the worms are gone, the little like
rose beetles, vermicellius and stuff.
Yeah, everything just is gone.
Well,
it's like,
what we did to we
I think
were
if
having that
you
issue.
try to do it in small containers, it's a problem. You know what I mean? Like you have to really think of like a belly. You know what I mean? Big enough area, then everything kind of.
In the beds, you'll get that if like near the end of harvest. We do a little mini like dry out, and that used to I noticed it would make them dive down.
Right.
But what we started doing a lot more green mulching with a lot of our trimming or a lot of our trim and stuff like that, and that's helped a lot. It helps us, retain a lot of that moisture all the way. It gives them little hidey spots, and so we're having a lot less since then. That also helps a lot with
it makes a huge difference a cover crop compared to not. Like if you don't have it, it's just bone dry with it. But if you have a cover crop going, it's huge. Everything's just more equal. You can see everything just. It gives it more resistance.
The mycos carpet that we have that's like woven in those leaves really, really helps retain the moisture too. And goodness gracious, I just lost my trip.
Oh, it never happened on the show. It's never happened before.
On our show?
No one's ever lost train of thought.
Your family. Welcome to the family.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So we actually have an advertiser on the show, Bio365, that I'm connected them with Jenny, and hoping they'll show you. They'll drop off a lot of test soil for you. So Tim,
we'll try something out.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, I'm not the expert. Adam should be telling you about this, but everybody in the commercial sector we've turned on to it straight up continues to use them.
Yeah, and they have like nine different things, but I mean it's like, some are made. Most of them are not even in your wheelhouse, so you don't have to really worry. Pretty much the all mix is just the simplest one, and you can do your own amending, and then that way you're not having to guess. You know what I mean? Because now this already got that. Now it's always nice to be able to put your own. For me, I'd rather just throw my own amendments in, knowing what's in there.
Yeah, we do our own.
It has biochar though in it already, which is great.
Good.
So
that's
it's
really good.
Built in. That's huge. And they'll work. If there's something that you guys are tried and true, I'm sure you can always do the other way around and be like, all right, well, not that you're that level yet, but you could always make your own mix and turn other people. If you have 4 or 5 other gardens that want to try it,
right,
just to get some consistency. that's also
No,
possible.
we'll definitely meet up with them. We have some.
Which would save you a lot of energy too. You're like, all right, that though I don't mind not mixing that particular. You know, it's like you mix enough oyster shell and enough other stuff to, it's like wrap yourself all up and you don't pay attention. That's what people don't realize is when you're doing organic and that's like the moment where you don't really necessarily want to be there. You know what I mean? It's like so much micronized stuff, and you're like whipping it around. So you should always wear proper ventilation.
We have to put on masks when we do our amendments and stuff. It gets really
The full respirator.
Oh my god,
for sure,
dude. If you don't, you blow out. Blow out everything.
Plenty of times we have it.
Oh
Plenty of times we have it. You
Wait
come
a
home
sec.
and you're like, oh my god, like dude, you don't realize it while you're doing it. Even trimming weed sometimes like that. You're just like, you don't even think about it, and then you get home and you're just like, wow, dude, there was a lot of shit in the air.
Definitely, our trimmers, Jenny, the harvesters, they all have to put on. We bought them a little half mask that they have to put on.
And who's your do you have a partner you like in the industry for your rosin press? Yeah, because I know there's local companies. There are.
We could bring on Steve. Steve knows, but I'm pretty sure right now we're using Pure Pressure.
Oh yeah,
Pure Pressure Peaks, right,
Colorado.
Steve? Yep. Long in the the long?
Long Peak. Yeah.
Long Peak. Yeah. Black one and a silver one.
And then they're great. They're great machines, and they're right here, so you don't have to. If you ever have an issue, they're right down the road.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I can bring on Steve. Steve could take my spot. He could talk to you about all the hash, and he's the hash expert.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
That'd be dope.
Oh, and I remember that thing. I forgot.
What was that?
So the leaves that we mulch on, we do the defol 2 or 3 times hard,
Yep.
and that completely restores the nitrogen.
Right.
So it's like sufficient. Like it's like always just like.
Right, on point. Yeah, well, that is the idea of keeping it like a closed loop, and even on a small setup, it should pretty much balance it out. You know what I mean? Because that's the idea. Yo,
welcome to the
How's it
show.
going?
Good.
Get these things
Switch
going.
them around. Left lead. There we go.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Turn your phone sideways, right? No.
You know,
not
our
even,
production
no.
person had talked to him beforehand, but he slipped past.
It doesn't
Mark's
matter
gonna-
what side the lead's on, dude. You're all
yeah, it
weird.
does.
No, it doesn't.
That's his pet peeve. He doesn't know it. He doesn't even know.
It has a left and a right.
Yeah, but we don't do anything stereo here.
Yeah, bro.
The headphones feel better.
I know for
Alright.
me, because I'm crazy like you, but yes.
Yeah.
Only if you flip it like a DJ though. There you go. Now it's
questions my ability
that's
to
the
get
way
the
you're
job
supposed to do
done.
it.
All right. Welcome to the show. So we're admiring your rosin at 100%. It's way on point.
Thank you. Appreciate you. It all starts in the grow. I mean, everybody knows that.
Come right up to here. Right. There you go.
A little closer.
Yeah, you got to be right on the microphone.
You'll hear yourself. That's why I got the
You'll hear
headphones on
yourself
so you can know. Oh,
Yeah.
I sound like. Oh, no, I sound good.
That's how I sound.
good.
Don't ever listen to the show again, though. It'll give you anxiety.
It's the done deal.
What's this one?
Wilson Zero. Heavy papaya notes on that one.
Well, I like that.
So how long you been making rosin and making hash in general?
Roughly 10 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, started with BHO, just kind of open blasting and whatnot, and pressing on a Harbor Freight press.
Right.
You know, yeah.
That's good. I mean, that is. It's funny too, because like, you know, some of the best shit comes out of those situations, and at that moment in time, it's the best. You know what I mean? And then as evolution, of course, kicks in later
Right.
back, you look back and you're like, all right, maybe it wasn't the best that it could have been, but at that moment in time, it was like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And were you growing? Were you always working other people's material? You just grew yourself, or you just? I mean,
Mostly working other people's material. I've got to run my own stuff a few times, whatnot. So, but
it's
yeah,
actually you learn more that way anyway, quicker because you get to go through so many different scenarios. Where if you're doing
most
your own
definitely.
thing, it's like you kind of have a less of a range, you know, because in the end of the day, you're not pivoting as much. You know, you're not like, okay, well that temperature's not going to work. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the stuff is similar.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I've definitely got to do thousands and thousands and thousands of batches for sure. I've been making hash steady since 2016, every single day.
And was
pretty
it
much.
always concentrated like that, or were you doing like your own? Did you do a lot of bubble, or you did a lot of? I mean, how's your?
I did bubble a few times before I really kind of got into the industry making hash, like every day, I guess.
Right.
Per se.
But you were more focused on
mostly BHO.
BHO stuff.
Yeah. But definitely excited for, flower rosin was big back then. So
I mean,
just trying to.
Anybody who's made water hash more than a couple times realizes it's just a fucking lot of prepping and cleaning and keeping everything organized. And sometimes it's always a 5-hour session no matter what you do. It's like you can't get out of it. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to try to, you can't speed up. And it's all about steady.
It's all about timing, for sure. Most definitely.
And then, it's just like it's funny because all my friends who were really good, always the most anal, you know what I mean? It's like whoever's the most anal in the crew will be like, oh yeah, you love to make hash, don't you? Got to be really like on it, just like yelling at you. If you like yelling at people, tell them to like hurry up, being like, it's like you're like into that mode. If you're too relaxed, it doesn't really work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to be relaxed, cool, calm, collected, Yeah. I used to let out a shit, if something crazy would happen, but over the years, with time, I've definitely, everything's cool, something happens, it's just a hurdle, you jump over it.
Well, the hardest part is finding the people who can consistently give you if you're not growing it yourself, then you have to find the people who can grow consistently, and then you can replicate it again, because otherwise you're always batch specific because it's just different material. It's a little bit different every time, right?
Right, yeah, definitely. A few companies I've been with have been single source, so very blessed on that. So, material has definitely been very top quality, yields very high, so very blessed with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's again, always like you're saying, mantra-wise, it's good in, good out, and that's kind of the way it is, obviously, no matter what, everywhere. But then it's also handling and
exactly. Single source, you're definitely, if you're not dropping the ball in any of those areas, then
temperature's important.
Yeah, you're good to go. Typically, that's where the ball drops if somebody else is giving you material.
Yeah. Oh, freezer goes out, and then all of a sudden, it's kind of then they bring it back again, and then it's like
something, or they bring it vac sealed, like fresh frozen vac sealed or something.
You're like, you do know it's now like floppy woppy
it's
in
done.
your hand, right? Yeah. No. Or the dreaded power shortage, right? With the freezer full of fresh frozen nightmare.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, I know all about that.
It's like. Well, but I mean, in one sense, if you're running through enough product, I think it's a good idea to invest in a freezer truck to have as a backup, ready to go plan for any of those kind of situations, because that's probably your cheapest.
Shit ton of dry ice.
That's your cheapest option, probably, just because you can turn it on, let it run, if I can get it cold enough, and throw the shit in there. Whereas any other option is going to involve a lot of running around and bullshit, right? So at least you got we got X amount of space, we can put that much in there, and if I had if you have to transport it anyway, so it's like the Colorado thing where you see a Subaru with a little generator on the back running, and then it's plugged into a thing, and there's like 2 guys in there, and you're just like, oh my god, look at that, there you go.
No,
shout to Miles. Right?
That's how Miles rolls?
Oh yeah. I don't know about the Subaru part, but definitely the generator and the fucking refrigerator. Hell yeah, that's been multiple runs. You're like, oh, that's
all
normal.
Day,
that's normal, bro. It's just a normal thing, right? But
hell yeah.
It is a funny one.
Yeah, so that's a good thing about Dutch Botanicals is we're all in-house. We don't have to transport our shit. So, they're taking it down. I let it, give it a good 3 to 5 days freeze, let it get nice and frozen.
Do you guys ever experiment with slightly drying it and then freezing it so you don't, because there's...
No, I've done that in the past. Not the best results. Not saying that other people won't get better results.
I mean, I've seen people who swear by it, and I've never tried. I've always just been like, nah, I couldn't. I mean, you could do it by mistake, of course. Like, oh shit, better put that in the freezer. But for the most part, it was never thought out. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go, because it seems weird to me.
Right.
But I have, then there is times where you're like, well, maybe on a larger scale production, you might see a difference. I don't know.
Is there like a freezing schedule, like the way you would temper chocolate? Like you bring it to this temperature, you hold it there for a little bit of time, and then you bring it to this temperature and hold it for a little bit of time?
I mean, your average freezer is negative 15, so just keep it at that, 3 to 5 days minimum. You know, obviously a week is better if you can get that, but as far as like production, you know, we got to get it done, so we can only wait so long, you know, to run it, which is typically 3 to 5 days. So,
right.
You know, we're cranking it out typically 80 upwards, you know, 100,000 a week. So it's what I produce.
Nice. And
that's fresh frozen, whole plant, fresh frozen.
Sure.
Goods.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. Once you realize, like you know, when you're getting a 3% on a really good run, it's like fuck. It's like it's such a different. I mean, because you just realize like a lot more ice, a lot more input,
Right.
a lot more. Everything just upgrades.
So really, I found it's not necessarily about more ice or whatnot. It's about a good happy medium, to ice and water.
Definitely. Well, yeah,
You know, you got too much ice, you're almost agitating it too much, and then
Yeah.
you're going green.
Right.
So it's finding happy medium of ice and water and weed in there, obviously.
A little weed might help.
Well, you whatever recipe you're using, keep it up because this is fire. I mean, it really is.
Thank you, man. Living soil, and one thing I want to add is it is full term, so definitely taking the full term, it definitely hits pretty hard. I used to take, you know, probably like 15 dabs a day. Now I'm down to like 5, you know, so not that I'm taking it easier. I'm just definitely medicated much more by smoking some Dutch Botanicals, some good full term solventless. And another thing is we only drop our 90U. That's first and second pull. 90U, no second press, none of that. Full spec, that all goes typically to carts, whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it's definitely some fire, all of it.
So yeah, anything did she?
Oh, I thought I did. No, keep going. Sorry.
So yeah, typically anything that you're gonna see hit the shelves from Dutch Botanicals, all 90U, first and second pull. No bullshit. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like when I first started making hash, I realized how unsustainable it was to live, to like do your own thing. Like, because living in Amsterdam was like you could go buy hash at all these places, of course, so it wasn't like you were, you know, impossible to find. But you start to make it, and then you realize, like, you know, your friends like, well, oh, I want some, and like all of a sudden you're like, there's no way I can keep this. This is like you're looking at the top 1 or 2% or 3% of your product that you got, and you might grow 2 kilos or something like that. So you got like maybe, you know, 20 grams of what you want, you know, of your, it's like, you're like, well, that's, and you're smoking 1.5 grams a day. You're like, okay, well, this is less than a month. And it took me 3 months. It's not working out. You know what I mean? It was definitely a hard to sustain thing. So it is interesting to see people pulling like just like one screen and being able to make it work, because it just shows you got to do a lot of pulls.
Yeah, I mean, I typically do 3 pulls, you know, 4 pulls if it's really dumping.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, as far as
nothing too crazy, but I just try to get it out of there as quickly as possible without, you know, agitating it too hard, going green, you know, obviously. But yeah, I mean, we do pretty decent production, you know. Like today, I packed like 1,000 grams, squished out like probably 2-3K.
Fuck yeah.
We got an Osprey. Shout out to Jenny for that.
Awesome. Those are awesome.
I'm not in there stirring my ass off. Fucking, that shit's for the birds, man.
Right. Well, those definitely are game changer as far as
I mean,
doing something over and over.
I process like 20K a day roughly, just myself, and that's just me, and then pressing and whatnot. So yeah, it definitely speeds up production. It still makes quality. You know, people say, oh, it doesn't make quality. You know, you can still make quality with it. It's just knowing how to run the machine, you know, and spending time with it. And just like anything, with time, it'll come, you know.
Definitely when it comes to doing any kind of hash thing or growing thing, it's really like a 2 or 3 round till you get it, till you dial it in. Usually, you know what I mean. Sometimes there's some things that just work right out of the gate, but most of the times, it's like about the third round of anything, you'll kind of like, oh, okay, got it. Starting to get it now. But it's a good learning curve. It's a fun learning curve.
Right.
Interest you in a chocolate?
Is it medicated?
Seriously.
I got offered a medicated one.
I'm playing like chocolate roulette.
No,
I just ate a bunch of cookies, so I'm actually probably good on chocolate.
no, the cookies were not medicated. April Fool. No.
So,
You have any other tips over there or crutches, guys? I could steal from you.
Dude, I got the crutches from you.
Yeah, these don't really. I don't like them.
Oh, that's all we got.
Oh man, we need a crutch sponsor.
Yeah, we can't do nothing until we get that.
Pause
You
the
took
show.
my last papers, dude. I just reached in my paper. I was like, oh yeah, I gave them over here last week, and
Oh,
they're
here
all
we go.
gone.
We got
Oh,
some
no.
yo tips, yo.
There we go. Now
Just roll a yo tip in there.
JJ for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Crutches.
I'm feeling fucking zooted.
That would defeat the purpose of it.
Oh, you're missing out. You're not understanding.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you? So we're going to be talking with the guys from Green Bros. Do you guys use a trimmer? What kind of trimmer you guys running over at that grow? Or do you guys is it all hand trimmed, or do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's all hand trimmed.
Hand trimmed?
Don't quote me on that.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
there for that process. I'm just the head guy. So
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. it's
JJ?
hand trimmed.
I just come in, the freezer's
Hand
full,
trimmed?
and I get down.
Hand trimmed or machine trimmed? Hand trimmed.
Okay. Well,
It's like
that definitely. If you guys expand to the point where you do need a trimming machine, because the Green Bros we've had Apothecary confirm that it's the only machine that they'll accept for their processing, because it doesn't have the speed or friction kind of situation that you get with
See that GMO
with the twisters, because you get
Thank
more
you.
because the blade is going quicker, so you get more of that heat on it, which then just kind of kills it at the source in a sense. Whereas this is just going so slow that the trim looks pretty fucking
Can I get a Q-tip?
on point. So
Yeah.
you guys may.
I came up here without Q-tips. Amateur mistake.
Oh, Jesus!
Nobody will hold it against you.
I'm amateur too then.
You need one? Here.
Yeah.
Safe.
Here, I got you.
No
Did you get it?
crutches, no Q-tips. Man,
Quality
here's
show.
an
operation.
Quality show.
well, we got plenty of coffee, bagels, and water. That's good.
Set.
Right.
The bagels, I said earlier, I would not be submitting these if they were for some competition.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've tried a little something. We'll see. You know,
I call shenanigans. Those look fire. And like the cookies too. Like,
The cookie was really good.
thank you for
It's his
the
claim to
breakfast.
fame. It's his claim to fame right there. Except we actually, this is the new recipe or the old recipe, because we all voted for the new, and
No,
then you
I
failed
said-
every time after that. You gave up.
no, I didn't. I don't like those. I
What?
like making the cookies that I like, which are the crispy
He's
kind.
trying to go against the masses.
Yeah,
He doesn't understand.
I don't care.
That, I feel like they can all
Wait a
be
minute.
appreciated.
You're advising me to go with the flow,
No,
to conform.
yes, with
Ah,
us, conform with us, not
I
with
see,
the flow.
I
We are
see.
the flow. It's
You're
me,
the
Vinny.
man.
It was me, Vinny, and MTI. That
You're
was
the
it.
man.
We are the flow, and we say, add more, make those cookies softer, right?
I like the
no cookies for you
crunchiness.
then.
No cookies for you. Oh,
No cookies
I was
for you.
waiting
I like
for
the
it. I was
crunchiness
waiting
first.
for it.
No
That is
cookies
the
for you.
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing
like,
it. He's gone full Seinfeld.
yeah, totally Seinfeld.
He's gone full. He's full blown
Exactly what I
Seinfeld.
felt, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
No cookies for you. 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it is. I was even gonna make cinnamon rolls, but fuck. You know. Yeah, we'll see.
Too messy.
I'll just buy a bunch of Girl
Too
Scout
messy.
cookies.
I heard y'all like munchies, but
And
goodness,
this guy.
that's fabulous. You're a foodie.
Well, everybody, had their different thing to get through the broken world. That was for me. It was making bagels, and I can't stop.
Can't stop,
It
won't
really
stop.
is
Can't stop,
therapy.
won't stop.
I wish I knew somebody who would just want several dozen every day, so I can just go have my routine. So
It's weird.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll adopt some bagels. If you ever need to let go of some bagels, let me know.
well, we're going to be
'cause-
selling them next door at the at the cafe we're opening.
Oh my goodness,
please.
yes, it sounds
Jenny's
wonderful.
Jenny is here.
I know you. You didn't. Welcome.
Yeah, we can't see past the lights. Nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you.
Sit down.
Thank
We're
you.
not giving you any grass to smoke until way later into the interview.
Actually, it was my first time to smoke over here.
We remember.
Oh, yeah, perfect place.
This is the perfect place.
No one's watching. No one's watching, anyways. Secret.
There we go. Welcome, Jenny Tran, to the show.
Welcome back.
Who else is coming in here?
Thank you so much.
Bernie,
Yeah.
welcome, Bernie.
Thanks, Natasha.
What's up?
Awesome.
What's up, fam?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we have
Welcome.
we have some employee family
All right,
watching this
Bernie,
show as
who
well.
are you?
I'm one of the sales guys.
Right
with,
up to the mic.
Oh, he's trying to sell us something already.
Yep. Trying to sell myself on you guys. Yeah. All right.
Hold on. For any time he talks, we have to start the meter. So you back up for a second. No,
That's
I'm kidding. So you're selling their products to dispensaries, so you're marketing
You're
them and
lucky.
advertising.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
Good job. Easy product to sell.
Yeah.
Very easy product to
Yeah.
sell. A lot of interest in that right now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
If whatever
I was
he's
just gonna
telling
say
you
this
he
is
can
a good,
sell
this
right
is,
now,
yeah, he's like,
we should
oh,
double
yeah,
it.
no problem.
I mean, who else is doing something like that on the market right now?
no, it's beautiful.
Ceramics UV resistant. You know, we have a very tight gauge around there at the top as well that Jenny worked so long on. So it's completely airtight, and it's non-porous. So the whole ceramic issue is absolutely fantastic for flower.
And how many jars are there? We heard about this. I want to see. I'm testing you right now as a salesperson. Do you know how many you would have to complete the set?
Oh, the set. Oh, come on now. The set comes and goes. So the set's
Yeah,
gonna be.
Jet, bench him.
All right,
set-
performance
1 week.
test.
Set is 4 different colors that we have right now, but we also have 2 different sizes.
There we go.
Yeah. So we got our Power Puff, which is right in front of you right there. Both of those sizes, beautiful jars. And then our brand new jar, which is going to be for our, potentially, I believe, for our rosin, is what we're going to do for those. So that's going to be for our baller buckets.
Yeah, baller jar.
The big
yes.
ones. Yeah.
That's how
And
I
this
roll
is this is a matching set.
They were super nice.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So
So you were since the last time we saw you, jet setting all around. You're back.
Thank
Good
you.
trip. Was it a good trip?
Yeah, it was really good.
Did you
Very
get to meet? Did you
productive.
get to meet Jack after for lunch?
Oh yes.
Yes.
You did?
It was
Oh,
really good.
good.
It was
Yes.
really good.
Of course
Yes.
it was.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
connection.
He's coming to
there.
town next week, Tuesday.
Awesome.
So we should all get together.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. And then next week is the first Friday, so maybe he'll.
Oh, we're giving away a lamp.
Giving away a lamp. We can
That's
get
awesome.
We give away an S-Tech lamp the first Friday
The
of
first
every
one.
month.
Awesome.
And all you have to do is send us an email. Where do we send that email, Mark?
Done deal at Adam Dunn Show.
Done deal at AdamDunnShow.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Send
It doesn't
the
go
email
to
out.
me, so if you're going to send any hate mail or anything, Mark will get it at that address.
That's why Adam. That's why he always gives that address when he
Yeah,
want to
everyone, because you check it. We try. We don't know how to check it. Doesn't work anymore. But what do you have to do? What you have to do is you have to include your name, your phone number, which is a way to get in touch with you, because
But
we're
it's
going to call you on the air.
For real, old school.
And rather than give us an answer to a question, we just want you to butcher the spelling of the name Midsteo. Okay?
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you have to do.
It's not too hard.
Be creative.
We
Because
used to have a
Mark-
word of the month.
And that is the word you
That
need
is
to
the
know.
word of the month. That's the only you
Yeah,
need
'cause
we
to
ever
know that
we
word.
tried so many
forever.
other ways.
And we want your messed up spelling of it.
Stutters.
Yeah, really
Yep,
butcher
gotta make it easy.
One word.
Okay. No, why does it have to be one word?
And a phone
Well,
number.
it could be 2 words, but it just needs tail. So.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen a couple two.
I've seen 3.
2 words.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh
send
yeah.
that
Oh
email as
yeah.
well.
I've seen 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
So-
the email is one word, but Midsteo, please butcher away.
And leave your number because we want to call you.
And he will send you the light. That's the best part.
Yeah.
So he gets to see his name in every different way possible.
There we go.
It sounds great.
There we go.
Yeah, it's easy. We're easy around here.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I mean, when nobody's gonna. I mean, because it was uncomfortable. Some of the questions we were asking people if they didn't know the answer to, and you got
we had to wait
on them
because we're not
it was
like
No, you're good. You're good.
we're gonna give it to
them.
them, but we gotta make them work. And then
Come
they're
on.
like they're on their thing and they're freaking out. And they come up
Chat, find that word right now. Somebody in the chat can help them out. And they're like, do, 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 do.
Yeah.
I think only one guy we missed, we hung up on, but then we just gave it to him the next week.
Yeah, we're so
the next month.
Pushovers. Pushovers we are. So yeah, we were checking out all the rosin. It was amazing.
Excellent. We got a lot of beautiful
he's
stuff on the
testing.
horizon.
He's double testing. He's double blinding us over here to make sure it's still good.
Steve does a fantastic job.
What's the strain of this one?
That was my favorite.
The Wilson Zero.
Oh. Yeah, this is the lavender one, right?
Yeah, lavender, papaya terps,
Is it?
definitely.
Heavy papaya. I got it kind of like a little grape hint on it.
It's
A little
loud.
bit.
Grapey
Definitely.
papaya kind of.
Definitely.
Cool.
That NYC Jeezy is fantastic as well.
That's awesome.
That one and then yeah, they're all good actually.
They're all good, yeah.
Here, try
It's
this
tough to
one.
miss.
This is kind of a grapey
special
vibe to
one
it.
right here.
Awesome.
Throw one over here, Dave.
Which one's that, Steve?
Okay,
That's a
please,
little
Vinny.
mix.
Whatever
That's a
you
mix.
wish, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, Dave.
Oh, this is
Check that out.
Jeezy and Zaza.
Yeah.
Zaza, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice too. But there was another one that I think. So, anyway, like I said, they're all good. I haven't tried this one yet though. It's grapey. But so as far as sales go, how many shops and you guys in now?
Man, we've actually kind of increased our shop presence lately. We're in the north, we're in the south, we've increased our presence in the mountains as well. So Golden Meds is a big shop for us. Shout out to Golden Meds. Shout out to Rocky Road. Lightshade's a big shop for us as well. Check us out at Spark, Social, Nature's Alternative. I mean, we're all over the place. All over the
Grapey,
place.
that's kind of
Definitely.
sweaty.
This is next.
Look at you.
Elements in Boulder. You know. Yeah. Absolutely. We're even as south as Trinidad if you want to go down to Trinidad.
Hey, shout out to Trinidad. We know peeps
Awesome.
down there.
Elevated Rec is a huge shop for us. Shout out to them. We're trying to get some other ones, so
Shout out to two down
one step
there.
at a time. We're
So-
still a small company, so one step at a time.
Let's just get it out of the way. If you
Yeah.
are a dispensary in Colorado, how do they get in touch with you?
Man, there's a couple ways to get in touch with us. You can obviously reach out to your rep. It's either going to be conorth.dutchbotanicals@gmail.com or conorth.dutchbotanicals@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram. That's always a great way to reach us. We're very available, very versatile to reach.
Yeah, but see if they're connected in any way, shape, or form with listening to the Adam Dunn Show. The moment they email you on Instagram, shadow ban.
We're trying our best. We definitely are very selective with our content. So we do what we can in terms of putting the right content out there, as well as just trying to work around the algorithm as best as we can. So I've got a lot of experience dealing with Instagram and dealing with cannabis and Instagram as well. So.
And also, I would say our website would be a good way to contact us, and that's DutchBotanicals.com. And also Instagram. Today we are going to post our DB Club, the QR code. So definitely, please go ahead on our Instagram, scan it, and join our club.
What's this thing?
This thing? Oh my goodness!
This is for our 8th flower.
This is
8th
for
flower
yeah.
pre-packs.
Well, it looks. I mean,
Brand new.
See, I'm
Reminds me
a
like a little
doof.
pop.
This
Brand
is
new.
this is the handle to pop it off.
Oh yes, and keep it airtight all the time. So this is Dutch Botanical, the new 3.5 8 flower packaging.
No, I'm thinking, what's coming out of this thing? You know, we're pouring some elixir into Spike Adams' bong.
Oh, creative.
It's almost like a mini
it.
dry tea holder as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
really
a food grade and nice and clean inside.
There we go. Nice snap to it for that
I
ASMR.
like that.
I like the little fishes on it.
And you designed this?
Part of the team.
Yeah.
Yes. Be proud.
Something she's
There
been
you
working
go.
on, I think, since like late December, early January. So
It takes some time
Definitely
to make
takes some
sure
time.
that engineering.
Well, you had to go to the
everything's
Chinese
good.
New Year. That was the worst
That
time.
was-
that
yeah,
you're like,
definitely.
okay, perfect time not to get anything done.
Which is February every year. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Totally.
right when you get all the good ideas. You're like, oh,
That's right.
it's always right before.
As soon as we got to start running fast at the beginning of the year, we got to slow down. That's how it is.
Your rosin has really sent me to. I mean, I ate a lot
You
of
look
chocolate.
at he's mumbling over there. You don't know where he's at.
Didn't I say that earlier?
Punch
Like
drunk.
you pay attention to when I start mumbling.
Just
I
give it
don't
some
know if I've
time.
mumbled yet.
You have. You're fully mumbled.
Mark's making fun of me though, and making faces at me and everything like that. How do you handle disgruntled employees, Jenny? Do you just terminate them, or do you have an HR department that you send them to? Is there a form letter?
How about send him to me, and I will help you handle that.
Oh, I am digging this relationship here. This is great.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
Dave's not a party guy. I don't know how anyone would ever say something like that.
It's cool. The laptop's in the shop. I'll just,
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome.
Bulging batteries.
Bulging batteries.
Mark Bulging Battery Perez, they call him.
Well, no, I listened to Suburban House just the other day, like with four or five other people. It was pretty cool. Mark was doing his thing and
rubbing it in.
No, what do you mean? No, he had a lot more than that. I'm just kidding.
Not really.
Mixcloud. What do you mean?
Very good, Dave.
But I posted a reel. I sent everybody to your Mixcloud. Oh, he
It's
might
over there
punch me.
somewhere.
Which
I'm
one?
No, there was a different one.
Just trying to move things along.
All right.
Just fantastic stuff,
But
honestly.
all of
Yeah.
it's real fire.
Swap it out, Vinny.
We just ran a whole test wash with Tasty Waves too. I don't know if they were talking about that, but that was, yielded some really solid results.
Great.
Very solid
Yeah,
results.
that was my best, highest yield ever since I've been with the company. 7.52%.
Damn.
Before rosin.
Wow.
Yeah, but just that is definitely.
Wow, that's a dumper.
And it's been a consistent over 4% for the other phenos that we washed for that one too. So Steve's been in there just getting that tech in there.
We're hitting some heavy numbers. I mean,
Yeah.
JJ and Natasha, I give it up to them. They're really doing their thing in there, and making it work. The living soil.
And are you noticing difference? Are you noticing any sliding scale on the screens? Just because sometimes you notice like bigger heads, and then you end up like going like, oh, it's in a really weird. Like they're all lower numbers than you normally used to, or.
No, it's really about
all across the board.
It's really about
because it has hit the
same.
90 pretty much. It's all about that for you guys as far as like most of the weight you want to concentrate in that zone.
You really want more 90 typically,
Yeah.
but typically, our pulls are about the same. Like I said, I do 3-4 pulls, 4 if it needs.
Right.
But
I used to have a kid who would come in and take like the bat, and then he'd go make his little tiny microgram or whatever it was like. I'm like, dude, you could have it, and put it in the freezer for him. He'd come by and grab it and come back. And it was funny because the kid who was, it was a classic where I showed somebody how to make it, and they started doing it, and then they got kind of lazy. The other kid kind of shined on him by making better hash from his shit that he threw away just because he was sloppy. Just like the
Right.
classic. And then it's fun to watch, because once people lock in on it, then it's like mission accomplished. They just every time they hit, they just go for it every time. And it's like there's like I had the guy in between. He's from Oklahoma, the guy who took his things from England, and very few people at the time. This was in Amsterdam, and it was just funny to watch because it was like my friend from Oklahoma would like flip it on the fucking. He'd do the old, it was little old school with like, hanging down long extended blender things, turn it on, walk away, watch TV for a while. Didn't pay attention to anything.
I dig it.
And I'd be like,
it wasn't me.
And every time I'd be like, so how'd it go? He'd be all, well, and I'd be like, oh no. It was the yield was shit.
Oh no!
But it was really, really good.
It was really good.
And then the other times he'd be like, yield was good, but it's really, really shit. It was like never ever like on the money. It was like okay,
nothing ever correlated.
No,
the numbers or anything.
It was kind of made you'd be like, okay, so when it was really good, it was yields were low.
Yeah.
Extra
Sometimes
low.
that's how it is. Like sometimes
And
the
it was
best,
true,
the best
but-
shit really be yielding the
Just the
lowest.
most
But you'd also
Yeah.
have to smoke some of it
Yeah.
too, so it was kind of
It
like
sucks,
to double
but,
up. You'd be like, "Wow, that's really bad." You'd be like, "So we got half a gram on this whole thing?" I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay."
I've had that.
Graham.
I've had 0.5%, 1%.
Oh, I know it's rough.
You know, 0.2%.
One thing I've learned about this industry, whenever that we mention shit, I got to figure out if it's a good shit or the bad shit.
You're right. The shit, or is it
right.
A comedian did that. He's
yes.
just like, it's the hardest word to learn in English because it's used so many ways. It can be used like batshit, right? As in you're batshit crazy, or that's dog shit, right? Or that's the shit. And then he had like 10 more, but
trust me, it is very confusing.
Way too stoned. Yeah, you guys. Hi.
That's awesome.
I'm getting
That's excellent.
Dave's high. Dave can't even talk. Dun, 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 dun.
Very tasty, right?
I'm drinking my Ozo coffee.
Nice.
Steve, what else we got going on in the grow or not the grow, the lab recently? You were doing some other test washes this week, right?
So yeah, we did like, I don't know, what, 50 different test washes or something like that.
50?
A shit ton,
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
First I was shaking in a
This
jar.
guy was in
yeah.
there shaking a jar for hours upon
My wrist
time.
fell off, like wrist done fell
Just
off.
crazy.
So yeah, so I got a little different tech and got some other shit going on and trying a few different things, but we're getting some really good results.
What are you doing for, like, so when you're done with so before you press it, like, what are you drying on? Like, what kind of, are you doing racks or
we dry
screens,
it with the Harvest Stripe freeze dryer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just going straight to Harvest Stripe, of course.
We are doing lots of test washing right now to get prepared for our release to the Connoisseur Club. So it will be a subscription base of the club, and that we will release to Colorado market.
Kind of a higher end.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to prepare best of the best, and I really appreciate all the phenos hunting that our grow team put together, and Hash team has been working so closely with them to design all the test wash and make sure everything move efficiently as well.
The Connoisseur Club.
Yep.
I think also one thing that would be good to venture into, though, would be to do more air drying and less freeze, like do less on the Harvest Stripe, just because it totally changes the whole vibe of it. Like, you can't press that and get the same thing that you would get if you just air dried it, where you get the original old school kind of hash vibe. And I think that's going to turn into a thing where people are going to realize, like, especially when you start back, you have enough product to make a nice piece of hash that actually can age, sit there for 5-6 years if it has to. Whereas if you have freeze-dried stuff, it's kind of like, all right, get the ball rolling, or else it shit's going to turn to nothing, you know what I mean? Because if you come back 6 months later, it's all that freeze-dried changes. It doesn't have the same integrity that it would, because hash has the best integrity. Like,
if it's kept in a freezer, and then
but that's the whole point.
For
You're not
years.
Have an industrial freezer like that, it's tough.
I still have hash. I've found hash that a year or 2 years old, and like full melt, and just dabbed it and still enjoyed it. It was still good.
Full melt meaning
that was freeze dried.
Yeah, I mean, but in general, it doesn't really the whole point is when you have hash, it actually preserves itself. It's like taking honey and freeze drying honey and then saying like, oh well, it's going to be better than original honey. Like, no, honey's perfect as it is. So are the trikes. You know what I mean? In a sense, if you can just separate the trikes from all the rest, it'll store itself, hold, 20 years later, you'll be like, Pop. I guarantee if you put anything through any kind of extremes when it comes to temperature or pressure or whatever, it's kind of pushed it in one direction, right? So it's kind of like to go back can't happen. You can only go, so it ends up just sort of, it'll be suspended and do its thing, but it won't improve, Whereas if it has a membrane around it, it's going to improve just because it has there's things going on under there. You know what I mean? Things
right.
There's a.
It's like a preservation, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a
type of preservation, but.
And I think dry sieve is going to become more prevalent. People are just going to start playing with it because it's like water is a problem. It's cool to make stuff taste better and be smokable right now and everything about it, but the whole thing is like to make it. When you do dry sieve, you get more flavor. You get all the terps, but they have to be kind of preserved in a.
There's something to be said about
in a chunk.
Dry.
And then they'll
dry extraction. I appreciate it, you know.
Is
Definitely.
do your strains that you make rosin out of translate if you had somebody who was making old school hash? Or is it completely different? You'd run completely different.
You just try it. You just try it.
Definitely trying it is something that is of interest. You know, at some point potentially. You know, something that Jenny is kind of new to, and something that I know most people are kind of new to as well. But on a commercial level, it's a little tricky. It's definitely a little tricky to maintain that integrity over long term, to maintain the integrity of that life cycle of hash as it goes. From point A to point B to point C.
Really, it's just about room. We don't really have.
The hard part is having enough of one thing ever to find out what that one thing does. Because if you have a melange of different flavor, your chances are never going to go. You know, I had one of those and three. You know, it's like, okay, we'll forget about it. But if you grow fields of whatever, then you have like, okay, we can do that and start to get a rhythm. But I'm just saying that'll be. That's just as things get bigger and
as things get bigger. Of
people
course.
just get like, well, now what are we going to do? You know what I mean? And the reality is, if you move product like over about a meter over from here to here, you're making hash, right? Like it's pretty much like, here's a pile of weed and I'm putting it over here. Hash is falling off of it. It's just about collecting it now, you know what I mean? So if you have a good screen system, you could pretty much just by moving weed from A to B and having like a 7-foot long
recovery
silk screen
system
area that you kind of
for sure
slightly toss them over there, like these when I kind of toss those ones a little harder. They were really good. But no, in general, everything under there is just like, you know, the prime anyway. It's the shit you would have lost anyway in the process.
Of course.
So I always think if I moving more than this table, this whole table would be a screen, and I would say, hey, you're over there. Okay, so the weed's coming to you. And roll it over to you, and then down here somewhere would be all the good shit, you know. So.
I mean, our 40 is like, I mean, looking fantastic. I put a post up on Instagram the other day, you know, having people just to judge our 40 or judge just hash how it looked, and it had a beautiful gold color. It was wet. Had the stab tech that Steve uses as well, and I mean, people were very interested and thought it was more of the 90 or the 120. It was actually our 40. So I mean, we're trying to maintain as much integrity with, you know, the glands that, you know, JJ and Natasha are putting together and Steve is harvesting overall. So I mean, it's a beautiful process.
You'll see sometimes that's what I was saying earlier about the gland. Like sometimes you'll get stuff that's really big glands and they'll end up down there.
Yeah.
And then those are the ones that have a lot more oil in them, so they weigh more.
Yeah.
And so in the end, it actually, like, people go by visuals. It's always like the shiny shit, but it's not. You don't look at the shiny stuff. You know what I mean? Look at actually the glands of
Typically,
size.
like that's like a 160. We pull a 160 and we throw that on this stuff that we call the Power Puff. So it's like some of our heady flour, you know, like living soil flour, and then we just toss that 160 on there, you know, kind of spice it up, and it definitely, you feel it when you smoke it, you know.
Yeah, it's lighter, but it got, usually if it's good flavor, it kind of is like that little. It's like the flavor side of it, and with a little bit of a kick to it. And then
a little bit more flavor in there.
You can squeeze it. Sometimes,
you know?
sometimes it's, you know, depends on the strain. It's all strain specific shit, obviously, but there's sometimes where it's just like perfect, and then there's other times where it's just like duff, and there's, you know, it's weird. You get really weird, and that's the 190 crap, the 160 sometimes good. Yeah, obviously there's stuff in there, and then everything below that, you kind of, you know, hope that's the ones. But it's weird. Like the 120 used to, like back in the day before there wasn't even a 90 screen out. Everybody was like, it was a 73 and a 120, and so it was back and forth between those two. And then once they put the 90 in there, the 120 became obsolete almost. But you still ran it to keep. I run them all just to keep everything clean. I figure I don't want this crap and that sometimes. You know,
they're the most similar.
But in the end, you're just like, oh man, it's so much. Especially when you're doing bad runs, it's so nice. It's like,
of course.
It's one of the most. It's one of the most.
I mean, going off what Steve was saying about our Power Puffs. I mean, the 160. I mean, just going off what you were saying, sometimes it might, you know, be good. Sometimes it might be complete shit. Luckily, we're not really using our entire line. We're using the most select and choice strains. So we're using our grumps and we're using our GMO for our Power Puffs. Yeah. And we're having that full melt resonate with that. And I mean, those glands are just coming out fantastic overall. So, I mean, they look great. They smell great. They still have that impact. So
no, there's all sorts of. I mean, that's the cool part too. Is like if you look at all the different colors and types and vibes, different product is coming off of every different strain. And like, there's times where you get some that are like they just kill it on all of them, like down the road. And you're just like, dude, I can hardly tell the difference. But you can, you can once you get to know it. But
of course,
you know, you're like, all right, that's what you want, and all full milk. But the rest of them will be like, you know, these. And it's weird too, because there's so many people who are never. Yeah, they're processing shitty weed, and then they wonder why their hash is all black and terrible. And it's like, it's just like weird over the years. I was just like, oh, it's not that hard if you have good weed.
I mean, I won't lie. Like Jenny gets upset with me, you know, because I'm trying to get out the door in the morning to go on my route, and she'll get upset with me because I'm hanging out with Steve in the lab because he's pulling out different microns, and I'm like examining them with him. Like, oh, this is what the 90 looks like. This is what our 120 looks like. This is what our 160 looks like, and going all the way through it. And it's like I'm learning, but I'm also like I got to go do my job. Like I got to get the hell out of here.
Got to get them picks out there. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a balance, of course, but you know, I try to do my due diligence, and I'm not just here to sell on our behalf. I'm here to learn about it as well, to help sell and to help market.
And that's your story, and you're sticking to it.
And that's what I'm sticking to.
Yeah.
Hey, anywhere that I've worked.
But Bernie actually, he does know a lot. He does consumer products, so that's good. First things first, you got a consumer product, know your product.
Got to.
You know, if you're going to be
good
out
and
there
the bad,
on the
you got to
field
get through
selling it, you know, they got to know what they're getting. You got to know what the hell you're talking about.
And totally agree with that. I think love is the first thing that being the best sells. You got to love what you have, right?
There you
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, everybody on our team
and that's
definitely loves our job.
To it.
We're all very passionate about what we do, for sure.
I mean, right now it's all about authenticity and transparency and all that, because people want to know what they're smoking, and people start to get more on it, and you know, it's turning, you know, a little more to the point where people actually get it. But there's always going to be. I mean, Colorado's interesting because it's a smaller market and it's more localized than most. You know, like if you go to big cities and stuff, it's like people give. It's just like the Amsterdam thing where people used to keep. There was worse because they would just be like one kind of weed and look at the guy and be like, what do you want? And tell him. It would just be like good weed, and they have the big buds and the little buds, or you know, just they were so lame. They just knew that they could make a story for everybody.
And then they were going to go to the next store and sell the exact same shit to them.
Well, most people just didn't really. They were just lazy, you know. And then occasionally there'd be like somebody who'd really figure it out, you know, and then do it properly. And then all of a sudden it's like the next time they, you know, now it's matured a lot more. But it was there was a time there when it was super shady. When I first got there, I was like, oh my god, this is like the guys that usually like two kinds of weed. They have skunk and a haze, and that was it. They kind of like played it with that, and that was it.
Yeah.
And everybody would be like, yep. I have a huge menu.
So you guys looking to expand into other states? You get to write up your SOPs and make sure you can train and teach and take it on the road. And
yeah, definitely.
So that's part of our task for this year. Yeah, we are working on it.
What's the state you have in your target?
We've got so many different states on board. She's been traveling
around. Oh, look, you kept taught him well, keeping that information.
Well, we got a few up our sleeve, you know. We can't reveal all those secrets.
Of course.
You know
I feel like we are pretty lucky to have all those companies from out of states that look into our business model and the product's character, and they fall in love. They feel like living soil, organic, live rosin technology is the way to move in the current market. So they reach out to us, and we are definitely talking with the company.
Is the only way to call it organic is to make it rosin? Meaning, if you used any other, extraction medium solvent, it would, because there's nothing that's organic, right?
Well, I mean, you could also, you know, have BHO that's organic to some degree, I guess. But like, you know, having rosin, it's just because there's no solvents used.
It's really the starting material, how it was
starting
grown.
material.
So it's living soil. We consider it organic.
So,
you know,
from our perspective.
I feel the need to say this almost every time I see him. Yeah. But if you ever wanted to do a test with your material, you make rosin. You give the equal amount of material to our friend Telly over there, and he'll blast it. It was an interesting experiment. And I'm sure it had a lot to do with the material at the time. Who knows what? Maybe it led towards BHO more. But in that what would you call it? BHO Rosinoff? BHO stood hands down apart.
I mean, good BHO is tough to turn away. I'm not just
some strains do shine, you know.
No, your rosin
and BHO much better. I mean, I've had strains that I prefer that much better in BHO, where I'm like, this shit doesn't wash nothing, you know, but it is wonderful in BHO. Like just my favorite terp, you know, like
because it's more in the plant than it's in the actual.
I'm just saying he'd be open. He'd be your guy. That would be the one I would say you should invite him in to be the BHO guy, just so you could have
do a side by side.
Side by side.
That would be that would be very interesting.
Absolutely.
To me, would you mind I share my personal experience about?
Well, you can, but let me preface by saying it's a poison. It's a cancerous substance when not handled correctly. It's dangerous. It can blow up again when not handled correctly. And I'm sure the cost of doing business, creating a Div 1, Class 1 extraction facility is something you don't need with rosin. So I can see the investment difference and I totally understand. So yes, just want to make sure I got that out of the way.
You get the point. Everything is about get it done correctly. And something when we involved solvent.
You just need to like have that team do their thing, and then you just need to say, here's all the chips. Have fun, and then these guys come back and say, "Look at that," and you're like, "Holy fuck!" and then everybody's happy. You know what I mean? Because the reality is that the only problem with rosin is that there's a lot of waste, all across the board.
There is a lot of waste. It is a costly product to pay.
So it's kind of like one of those. After all that, you should have that. Like it's like taking all your coffee. It's like if you drank 1 million coffees and then you didn't do anything with the coffee, you'd be like, "What do you? You should give that to this other guy. He can do this and turn worms into that." And all of a sudden you're like, "Cool."
I mean,
so it's almost something you have to do.
I take my rosin bags and make RSO out of them.
Okay, I mean that's internally, but if people are overdoing it and they're just not seeing the bigger picture, then they're not being smart.
I mean, you try to do as much as you can, and there's only so much you can do, but it is, I mean, just like anything, shit, you're using a lot of butane, I feel like, too, you know, it's like, how much fucking butane do we really got, you know, until we run out of that shit, same as water, you know, it's like, fuck, I think about it too, but
I always thought helium
I try not to
was
let it
gonna
get me
last
down.
Well, it's definitely,
out of that.
there was a moment in time when there was guys sitting around a boardroom going like, what the fuck is going on right now? You know, they didn't know anything about what was happening in the States, but there was just thousands and thousands of people ordering master cases and going nuts. And it was like, master case.
Of what, parchment?
No, of cans.
Oh, of cans. Oh, yeah, for sure.
So there was people sitting in that boardroom. Oh, there was definitely people in the boardroom at parchment paper and parchment paper. You know, all these different rooms. And like, what the fuck is going on? These states are just going nuts. People are parchment paper crazy. They fucking turkey bags over here.
The tubes, the glass tubes.
It's wait, you don't think it started years beforehand with the Revlon hair straighteners? Like people are like, wait a second, we are selling 40x Revlon hair straighteners for $29.95.
No one's hair is any straighter in any way, shape, or form. We haven't seen anybody's hair.
Why is everyone's hair so straight in Colorado?
Exactly.
I have purchased one of them.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, that was it. You know, and I remember going into the store going, oh, they're going to know I'm making rosin. They know I don't need a hair straightener. I'm like, fuck. Damn.
It's from my girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
That's
it's from my girlfriend, yeah. What do you do when you go and you've got like 60 bags eyes and they're like,
I'm going to need that, and I get it. Yeah, so that's where it started. But yes,
there's always trends. There's definitely trends that they must just trip out on.
Oh, for
100%.
sure.
They're just like,
for sure.
And they get locked in and they're, stoners. And then most of them don't. I mean, there's definitely, like with turkey bags and stuff now, there's all these different independent people doing it. But there was a time when people just, you know, it was just off the shelf, but they were ordering by the fucking pallet.
Same thing as our bag seals.
And they were in a little tiny shop in NorCal and Willits or something like that. You know? And they'd be like, what the hell? These guys were like 16 crates.
Like, how much isopropyl do you fuckers need?
Yeah. So,
going into a big box store out in the mountains and all of a sudden they're only stocking just that consistent vac sealer. You know, I mean, it's like, why are there so many people getting a vac sealer out here? It is what it is.
Got them on deck, dude.
No, definitely some people are just, they're definitely tripping on it, but they're loving it. And at the same time, if they're smart, they just kind of, you know, make sure they're like, even in NorCal when I first was up there with some friends of mine, and they had like a 250 or even bigger, like I felt like it was bigger, but just molasses in the middle of the fucking town, and you just came up with your bucket, and everybody was just rolling in, and I was like, that's fucking sick right there. Like, they just like drop that shit off because there are like so many people are ordering it, and they're just like, yeah, we just pool our shit together, we all hang out. When you need it, you need it, you know. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. That was definitely, you know, you knew you were like, okay, these guys love growing weed around here. This is 100%.
That's awesome.
Well, it's like why the price of glass rises and falls with the price of concentrate. It's just straight up. The more expensive it gets, the more intricate the glass work is.
Definitely.
Because you know that there's some extractor somewhere who has a shit ton of product and just wants to trade you for glass, and that's how it begins. You set the price, almost like how Bitcoin gets price got set.
That's how I got all of my glass.
It's the crypto version of the rosin exchange.
It is. It definitely is.
I feel like, you know, it's just like trading. You should be trading your stuff, you know.
I mean, what, like commercially, the
hash and glass,
and
it goes great together, you know. Shit, you should be trading back and forth.
Two great. It's like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
I think I gave like an ounce for this piece right here.
So we're gonna have Cullen from Green Bros on. I know you guys are right now hand trimming everything, but when you get to the point where you just go, I gotta get somewhere close and maybe eliminate 80% of the labor on that if you can.
I've used the machine. I've looked at it. I had one years ago. I even looked back at my phone and I was like, I remember it's so simple design wise, and it's adjustable, and you can go like as slow as possible. You can make it like move like that slow if you wanted it, so it doesn't even like roll, and it'll still cut because it's just real simple. And there's no real blades. It's just those two pieces that match, and so you can go super duper slow if you want, but it does something. You open the tray and you're like, okay, that's not me. that's him, and you look at it and you're like, it doesn't. So you can, and you watch people, they can put a ton in there, and it depends on. It's so strain specific, and it's the classic thing where it's always the weed that's the one that would have been easy to trim anyway. And you're like, fuck, like you can't not, you got to be right. You're not gonna anything that's all, like as people start to appreciate weed more and more, they will obviously appreciate structure where it's not always about just big chunky things. It's about the actual weed itself.
There's also the next level in products.
So some stuff you can't put in there, but then at the end of the day, when it's just like that stuff that's so perfect and you put it in this machine and just go real slow, and compared to the tumblers, which work, but they like bounced it a lot, and it also just cue balled. It gave it that particular shape, and also the blade is spinning faster, so everything you pull off is just like cooked.
I actually look into the newer model. We use hand trim. We are living soil, and we target that customers that so far they really be particular about hand trim. But I look into the new version of Green Bros. That machine is perfect.
Well, he'll be on in 5 minutes, so it's made in Las Vegas. He's been in the game forever, and they've supported and advertised on the show for 3.5 years. So it's
and they do anything. Like the cool thing is that they're making like their joint rolling machine technology. When you look at it, you're like, okay, these guys are. Whatever you want to throw at them. If you had any ideas of anything automated, and just the idea of working with conveyor belts and working with the number, like if you start doing volume, you start to realize it's like the more you touch it, the more you fuck it up. Compared to like if you just put it there, and it goes whoop over to that guy.
Exactly.
And so
we're rather small scale. I feel like maybe 75% hash, possibly, and the rest is all just small scale. Flower hand trim,
I prefaced
kind of
with
boutique, try to make it as pretty as possible.
When you're ready for it, right now, hand trimming, it of course we'd be the first. I wanted to say before you guys go that
you gotta hire Dave.
No, we want to be.
That's obvious. He's looking for a job. You look at him; he's pandering.
We want to be on the advisory committee so that when you want to bring
trim.
out new strains, you feel free to float them past us, and we'll let you know what we love.
Sure. Yeah.
Mark. See, Mark was about to give me shit. Now he's like, okay, I can see this is not that bad. Fuck. Again, maybe we can definitely stay in touch because Mark needs to definitely needs a talking to, and he doesn't respect me. So
Hey, Mark.
Yeah, we're sick and Jenny on you.
yeah, stand by. New HR director coming in.
After a couple dabs of that rosin, I'm feeling pretty
Yeah,
good.
right?
That's awesome.
It's really
It's a great
nice.
combination.
Load 'em right
Yeah.
down.
Did you give some to the landlady?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We've been sharing.
Landlady's up here.
Yeah, landlady's in the house.
Say hi, landlady.
She's mic'd up too.
Oh, she's
she's
mic'd up over there?
She's up. Look at her. She's mic'd
Oh.
up. Has headphones,
Vinny's
all that.
got it
Love
all.
Somebody get that
everything
girl,
about
damn.
today. This
Nice.
hash is incredible.
Thank you so
It's
much.
really, really great.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Landlady had a history with us, Jenny. You see, we only used to see her when Adam was late paying money. So the running joke was, oh, shit, you know. And then when she came over here, it was like, oh, man, how much does he owe her? And it was all bullshit. We were always all good.
Uh-oh, here he is, Cullen in the house.
Oh, somebody else say it.
Yeah, I showed up.
Hey,
sorry.
Cullen.
Did I ruin the deal?
What?
No.
Never.
I'm trying to find a place where you can actually see me.
Oh, we
I
see
forgot how
you well.
dark my house is.
We see you just fine. I didn't even give you the turn your phone
okay.
sideways thing yet.
Not yet.
But maybe Mark figured out how to do it or something. He did something different with it last time. It didn't really matter.
Oops.
Oh. Yeah, it's me. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Here we go.
Don't sweat it.
100%.
Don't
How are you
sweat
guys?
it. We're very... See, there we go, Mark.
What?
Look what he did.
He just doesn't know how to explain things with words.
But I figure everyone...
Dave's
that's
really
right,
Dave's
because
really, really high, Cullen.
Very
So
stoned.
I forgot
he's so
that some
high.
people are
We're
watching.
definitely
I don't
sitting
believe
back.
it for a minute.
No, he's really, really high this time.
It's
He's-
Vinny's fault
He
tonight.
was
but
mumbling before.
For people who are just listening and not watching, Mark has a great way of filling the screen right now, so I don't have to tell anybody to turn their phone fucking
breaking the fourth
sideways
wall,
anymore.
basically, is what's going on here, Cullen.
I had to explain it.
He's meta. He's gone full meta on us. He's gone meta.
Yeah.
What the hell does
Listen,
that mean?
I got my
gone full
Karen
meta?
bun going on, so just so you're aware.
Uh-oh, man buns and meta at the same time. I don't know if this is even possible.
We'll make fun of you later, but never
That's
while
all
you're on.
good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's happened before.
It happens to me multiple times during the show, so don't worry.
That's excellent.
I don't mind being the butt of the joke. If it
So
gets
what
a good
has
laugh.
happened since the last time I joined you guys in this show?
Oh, well.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit to go on. I know. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Adam ran for office and failed.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a
he
bit
tried to do
bust.
that. Mark actually works 12, 13 jobs right now because we haven't figured out a way to fully monetize the show.
Yeah, but we did. No, we sold this.
Yeah, but that was to.
Yeah.
For us to go to Spanibus.
I know you saved us. You saved the show.
Yeah.
We've made you as official. We've made you official
Yeah.
saint of
14
Barcelona.
job.
Saint of Barcelona. Yeah, you got Dave. You got Dave all over.
Well, also Bangers is the company that purchased the grinder. So we're saying they do more than just trim. They take you from your plant straight to however you want. So if you're going to make rosin, they'll help you get there.
Yeah.
If you're going to roll joints, they'll help you get there.
Wow.
You know, if you're going to make BHO, they'll help you get there. Not that you're making BHO.
What?
And then they work with another company that we've done business with before. Oh my gosh, I totally just drew a blank. Adam, help me out. The harvest company, the rack system.
Dry flower.
Dry Flower Solutions.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Jay up at Dry Flower.
Yeah. And
I love him. I love Jay.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Cool.
I don't know anybody who has more energy than that guy. He just hasn't been in business long enough. He'll burn out.
No. Landlady says no. He's gonna survive.
No, dude, have you seen this guy? He's all over LinkedIn. Like if he's not doing something crazy with his racking system, he's doing yoga. It's awesome.
Nobody does yoga here. Does anybody do yoga here? Mark does yoga?
No.
Damn.
Jay will inspire you. You need to watch his stuff, man. He'll get you doing yoga.
It's more stretching for me.
So Cullen, what's Greenbros got? What's new in Greenbros? Us, we've just been talking shit for the past couple of years. But what's the technological?
I'd rather be doing that, to be honest with you. The market's insane. I don't think it's there anymore. Like the market disappeared.
Uh-oh.
I think
Just barely. Oh, Jesus.
This is why
I think
don't
it's
do any
gone.
pre-interviews.
I don't know what happened. It's
What
weird.
happened? What happened? It sure.
I don't know. People just stopped spending money in the cannabis industry. It's kind of crazy. And then you look around and you find out that's not 100% true, but there's a lot of people worried, man. You know?
Fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking. I mean, that's what I see. There's a lot of people that are like, you know, what? I don't know what to do with my money. Should I hold it? Should I spend it? I don't want to. You know, I got to save on labor. I got to save on this. I got to do this. I got to automate and all these things. But yet, there, you know, how do you do that in an economy like we have where there's just so much uncertainty?
Which part of the market are you observing that happen?
No, I mean, we sell, you know, to all the producers, right? So we're direct support for your growing market, right? So in general, those kind of companies are being acquired and being consolidated at a rapid pace, or you know, trying to figure out how they're going to make money when the black market's killing them. You know, it's tough, man.
This year in general, I would say is tough, but definitely we are seeing some increase in Colorado market. And when we look into some other regions in the nation, I think we are getting better.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear something positive, man, because from where I'm standing, I mean, I talk to people in my sector, which is the supply side, you know, we support side. It's not generally a pretty conversation. And these are men that I've known a long time, and you have a lot of respect for them, and you go, oh, that's how it is. Okay.
Well, what are they saying,
You know?
Cullen? Are they just not wanting to buy the next generation equipment, or are they filling the hole with labor instead of automation? I mean, it
There's a
can't
little
just
bit
be
of
I don't want to
both,
spend
yeah.
any money.
Yeah.
I think
You'd be
people,
surprised.
yeah.
People will because people go, okay, well, I'm going to buy a large piece of capital equipment, or am I going to buy labor? If something happens, I can get rid of labor, but if something happens, I still have to pay for my capital equipment. And it's kind of a backwards way of thinking about it, right? Because, you know, capital equipment actually can provide you with a lot longer runway and a lot more money in the long run. But, you know, there's this short-term kind of hold your cards close, don't tell anybody, you know, don't, you know, I can downsize, I can upsize, I can adjust. You know, so it's really an interesting place for us. I mean, we're still doing great. I mean, don't get me wrong. And we're not going anywhere, but
That's awesome.
But it's not like what it was by a long shot. And then also it's, you know, to hear people talk about it and talk about, you know, like companies closing their doors and going dark for a period of time. You're like, oh, it's serious, man. This is, you know, it's serious.
Right. Well, it doesn't it beg the discussion, though, that maybe people were setting the expectation of what the price of a pound was going to be at, you know, plus $5,000.
Yeah, that's how it was going to be forever.
What did you think that was going to be forever? I mean, we knew this day. Come on. Come on. You're a smart man. I've known you a long time, and there's no fucking way. It is. I've been telling people this since 2012 when they would look to me and say, our 10-year projection is $3,800 a pound. And you go, take my name off your deck.
Yeah, we don't need to talk anymore.
No,
We're good.
I'm done. There's no point. There's really no point. I mean, I'm probably on video with Kalik saying it should be $700 a pound back in 2012.
So listen, I mean, so that's crazy, right? So when I got in, I was this is 11 years ago. Went to one of the first ARC views, and of course you hear all this fucking crazy shit about how much money it's going to make, and everybody's spending money on getting into the growing side, and it's going to be, you know, it's green gold, it's a rush, it's all this crazy shit, and then I'm hearing what's happening underneath, where guys are talking like, yeah, we think we're going to be making it for about 65 cents a gram. I think that's the target market for indoor production. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So this is a different thing. You're talking about producing at 60 cents a gram when we're selling right now at $10 to $15 a gram. That was back in the day, right? So now there's a fucking massive disparity right there. Everybody thinks that that's all going to stay profit. You're fucking crazy, dude. That's never going to happen, right? Like, oh yeah, we're going to be able to make it for 10 cents and sell it for $50. You know, no, you're stoned. I'm sorry, but you're stoned.
No, when that
And your math
happens,
doesn't
though,
work.
the MSO will come in, buy everybody up. They'll drop the price to 20 cents a gram for everybody out the door till they put every small guy out of business, and then they'll raise it to $10.
Or yeah, that'll something like that'll happen. Or you know what? So I got to tell you, and this story freaked me out. And I'm not going to tell you where I was. I'm not going to tell you how I know this.
You know, we're trying to get the landlady more involved. If you're going to tell a really a triggering story, we're never going to get her to come on camera. Fuck.
Listen. All right. So I don't even know. I shouldn't even tell this story because this is like
those are the best
the
times.
doom scroll. This is a horrible story.
Doom scroll. Warning.
In a
Trigger
facility
warning.
that is all tobacco equipment, right? And it's stunning and state of the art and fucking immaculate. And they're producing at a rate that we don't even conceive of. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is what it's all about. This is the kind of people that are coming into this game. They know how to do this. They know how to play this game. They've played it for hundreds of years, man. And I hate to be the guy to bring the news, but those guys are starting to come. And when they come in, they play at a different level. Like, you know, a cigarette machine can roll 100,000 joints in an hour.
Totally, I agree with you.
The fuck?
Yeah, as a business owner, I need to be very aware of those trends in the market. I sense that, and I really give you lots of points on the credit on bring it up. That's why for lots of the business in this industry, we got to think about how we can do uniquely, how we can bring specialty to this industry and also serve the community before the MSO come in. By no means MSO is not doing the quality work. It could. It's just the way that they care and they touch the products. I do hope
you're talking about you know, the Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser concept versus the craft beer kind of concept. Absolutely.
Totally.
You know, absolutely.
I was looking into all kinds of machine to making gummies, making drinks, making pre-rolls. Once that machine is turned on, oh my goodness, lots of business. I'm so sorry we're in Colorado. We are saturated already. But if that machine is turned on, done.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's what a lot of people don't really understand about commodities and commodity markets.
Totally.
I feel like I've just kind of pooped on the parade here, but commodities are what they are. You know, it's something that we grow and it's easy to produce. And I know cannabis has a lot of intricacies to it, and people make incredible cannabis that you're not just going to grow for nothing, but the bulk of it's going to be grown for nothing.
Right. And the game is all about how to turn commodity into some value products.
Yes.
That's the key.
Yep.
If any facility or any company can make it very efficiently, they win the game.
Uh-oh, I see.
That's the game that we're playing now, right?
Morris
The
merger.
efficiency game. The skill game. Yeah. Anyway.
Green Bros Philip Morris. I said it first. I'm telling you, here it comes. Phil, if anybody from Philip Morris is listening, get you in touch with Cullen. I want him.
Yeah.
Deal
You
for the
need
show.
me. I can help you get your shit together.
He's got the Rolodex. You'll have the 1,000 joints a minute, whatever the fuck it is. I mean,
Oh my God,
You're gonna
dude. I
produce
can't
the
even-
world's supply.
Yes.
You know what the
Yeah.
fuck? I mean, but
swag.
really, I suppose that is the future, right? Where you walk in and you have to fucking buy a pre-pack of 20 fucking.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. When, it's like $20, you get 20 joints. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Come on, let's be realistic. It still has, you know, it's still an intoxicant. There's still going to be some controls around it, more regulatory environment. It's not going to be like cigarettes, although cigarettes are probably more controlled than cannabis at the moment.
They have always been.
You know.
But you know what?
I don't know. Whatever.
If before we even debate an intoxicant, what is the lethal dose of cannabis versus what the lethal dose of nicotine?
Yeah, because nicotine.
You know,
can
because
fucking
nicotine will kill you. So it should be regulated more. At the end of the day, I really don't care if somebody smiled all the way to the grocery store. But if
got
eventually
self checkout and couldn't figure out how to navigate the menus,
Exactly.
That's what I remember.
Right? A stoner waits for the stop sign to turn green. It's just it's a whole different universe. It isn't nicotine, which kills, and alcohol, which is I don't want to even get started.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
really,
I mean, there's that. I mean, that but I mean, just talking about like in general about the commoditization of it, like the movement. We had this great time in this environment where we pushed through the barrier, right? And we got this medical thing going on, and that was the spear that we poked through, and we got everybody to get on board. And everybody's like, "Wow, this is great! You know, it has value." Da da da. And everybody's like, no, we really like it. It's a lot of fun. And then it's like, oh, well, we'll just push it the next level. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, that kind of specialness of it is gone now, right? Because now we're in the commodity moment, right? It's just another thing that you can do, and the choices of things that you can do. It's something that people enjoy. It's great. I don't have a problem with it. It could be better or worse than other things. That's not even the conversation. The conversation is that it falls into that class of entertainment, something that you do to to enjoy your day or your evening or your afternoon or whatever it is you use it for. It's now something that's an add to your lifestyle or your daily business, like alcohol or whatever. Not making judgments on any of that stuff. It's just what it is. So now it's a commodity. People accept it. It's out there. And now what do? Now we have to deal with a system that was built around a very valuable thing in this medical thing and this high value underground thing, and now it's like, no, it's not going to be that anymore.
It's not 2011 at $9,000 a pound for the first 2 weeks.
Hey, listen, man, I'll take it. Listen, I that's why I got into this thing. I mean,
there it is. There it is. It finally comes out. Come on!
I was growing it for $6,000 a pound. I couldn't even grow weed, and I was making $6,000 a pound. What are you doing? I mean, that was the thing, right?
It was a magic moment.
My garage had weed in it.
It was a magic moment in time.
I can't believe it didn't say allegedly. Oh well, come on!
I do too.
It just
I mean, I
moves
do
out.
too.
That's the problem. Is you got to let those times go. You have to let those times go. You have to find a way to come to terms with the fact that when it is treated like every other agricultural product, why would you expect it's going to be any different than sugar or broccoli? It's going to be fucking sent somewhere where labor is wicked cheap, grown on the equator, just like sugar is. I mean, I consulted for a sugar company. They processed like 4.8 billion metric tons of sugar. It's fucking crazy. You know, it was like a pound of sugar for every man, woman, and child on the planet Earth. Okay?
Yeah.
So when it eventually works its way into their systems, where it is completely unregulated to the point of safety, but it's not regulated like an intoxicant, forget it. It's going to be pennies, dollars. So we should be happy right now that it dipped to 1,700 a pound. It will come back up because a lot of businesses are going to just fail.
Man, there's places in Oregon and Northern California where they're getting 150. You know, it's
that's just shit weed. I'm just sorry. That's just shit weed. No, I don't give a fuck. Show up with that weed that is $150 a pound. And if Adam and I say it's not shit weed, then I'll eat some of it. But fuck,
okay,
come on.
You guys have a bar. I get it. Your bar is a little bit different than the general bar.
No,
general
it's not
bar
even
down
that.
here.
I understand
like quality managed bar up here.
No, I'll tell you if it's viable in the commercial market. If you're going to walk into, I've been actually going into dispensaries lately just to see what's on the shelves and give a sniff to everything. So I'm seeing what is out there in the commercial markets. $150 a pound. It's shit weed, Cullen. Fuck, give me a break.
Fair enough. But when I've got companies who are rolling joints with swag like leaf and shit like that and selling it to people, and then they're supplementing it with Delta 8 or freaking, Delta 9 or whatever the fuck they're putting in it.
No,
and
we
they're
don't
calling
say that
it
here.
super diamond dust, and
Of
it's
course.
like, what the fuck?
That's
what
drugs,
kind of world
man.
do we live in?
Gas station fucking drugs.
That's the shitty part.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody who's
that
going to
shit
fill that
that
gap.
comes in a little green
Totally.
package that has some weird logo on it.
Fuck that. That is gas station fucking bullshit. It's like we spoke to someone once who went to the Delta 8 convention at like a cigarette conference.
There's a convention for this.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a gas station shit show.
Yeah.
It's like every piece of shit product you would ever see on the shelves at a gas station that you would walk in and pay 10x for, even though just because it's an impulse buy, but it's at a gas station, so it's regulated.
There was a Yellow Jacket at one point. I was selling those.
Look at it. That's a little
Yellow
bit differently.
Jackets. We got
Like for the
pills
mass
and
market.
shit.
couple cross tops.
Yeah.
Double what?
Delta 8. Fuck
Delta
that shit.
8,
We hate
yes.
that shit. Fuck, it
It
has
is
no...
banned in Colorado.
Yeah, it's
I think
banned.
more and more states will come up with the policy that ban Delta 8.
I hope.
Well, we can hope, but other than that, I mean, you make that shit out of hemp, right? I mean, that shit's free.
Well, that's the thing.
but that-
and
yeah.
again, there's always going to be an opportunistic person who's going to be on it. And it's like, you can't blame them too much because you're like, hey, they're making something out of
Yes,
nothing.
you can. Yes, you can.
You can
you
if they try to sell it
no.
commercially, but I'm just saying, the guy who there's a guy, there's always somebody down the road who's just like, he's just doing what he's doing, making what he's making.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's
I
just
got-
killing people. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's the
He makes
acetate, the
vaccines.
fucking
Cool. He's a
shit.
good guy.
No, fuck that. You know what? I'm making sure Dr. Mark Scaldone has your number, and he's leaving you messages all the time right now. Listen, Delta 8's horrible substance. If there are Delta 8 vendors who want to come debate that channel, fuck you. No, we're not giving you the airtime. It's a shit poison. We don't need it. Fuck off. I'm appreciative of the hemp people who really paid their dues for many years when cannabis was in the shadows and the only thing you can do was grow hemp, and I appreciate 2016 2017 the hemp boom and the CBD boom that Adam and I
the
chased
unicorn
unicorns.
face, like that was like a couple years. Like
it was fun, man. It was
Pegasus
exciting. We felt
crossing
young
over
again.
unicorns and none of them landing anywhere.
Wait, you need how many thousand kilos of CBD?
Oh my God.
And all I have to do is make a phone call and connect you with somebody else, and I make how much
per
Piece
month?
of the pie, yeah.
Wow!
Every month.
Yeah. Anybody
Well,
ever catch that
listen,
unicorn?
when that all took off and the farm bill went, I had multiple people calling me like, "Oh yeah, we're planting fucking 60 acres, planting 100 acres." I'm like, dude, you have any fucking clue about how much fucking cannabis or hemp
Labor?
grows on 60 acres, my man? He's like, well, we need a machine that'll that you can process it with. I'm like, okay, well, you're about 2 years late. And you have a concrete pad where the building's going to be. No,
Building?
like, they want a trimmer to trim their hemp. I'm like,
Oh my
you have
goodness.
no concept about the amount of hemp you're
But
talking
wait,
about.
you're just going to drive a machine over it, and it's going to turn it into CBD in one pass. Voila! Ta-da!
Hey, I will do that for you, but I ain't doing it overnight.
What do you mean overnight? I meant in one pass. Just
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like me,
single
I'll make you the machine, but we're not doing that tomorrow. Fucking that's years of work. I
You
gotta
are a
call fucking
buzzkill.
John Deere.
yeah, you said it right. You know, would bust everyone's bubble, but you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, did it again. Did it.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm having a moment in our life existence in the cannabis space where I'm like, this is just different than I thought it was going to be, and it's kind of changed a lot real quickly.
I totally
really did.
understand, and I
get
just
it.
want to make sure it's on air that if you ever fucking partner with Philip Morris, Adam and I get 10%.
Oh, yeah,
Straight up. Fuck you,
devil
it's
juice.
done.
Give me the devil
we
juice.
said it.
I think you're probably right on because I mean, at that point, yeah, okay, what's 10%?
Yeah, Green Morris. It has a Green Bros fill up Green Bros.
Yeah,
We'll figure
they
it
fart
out.
and I
But,
disappear.
yeah, it just will. I'm sure we'll make it work.
Hey, I don't care, man. You guys can be the voice, the face of it, all of it. I don't care. Just give me my
Dave
percent.
can be
I'm
the
good.
best. Dave, just give me my 5.
A point.
Walk away.
A point. No, of a Green Bros Philip Morris deal?
Yes.
We'll take a fraction of a point. We'll be fine with a fraction of a
I'd
point.
take a fraction of a point. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Sold
That's
out.
multiples.
Sold out.
Right there. That's lots of commas involved in something.
That's a fantasy, man,
What's up
but I
with
love
the-
it.
what's
Thank
up
you.
with,
Appreciate that.
I'm having them zoom in right now. I
Okay,
was just
cool.
getting ready to find a good crescendo moment.
Crescendo. Oh, there's been a few. There's been a few.
Well, it's interesting how it all ties together, right? So you guys make rosin, right? He makes all the equipment that when it becomes, because it is going to become super commoditized, when you take your expertise of what you're doing right now with hand trimmed, individually harvest fresh frozen, you know, all that, when it's completely automated to the point of, because it has to be to compete in the marketplace, Cullen's making those products for you, and it's going to be used in something like this that is handheld, that is portable, that doesn't need to be cleaned and loaded every single hit. Just it works every time, all the time. I mean, unless you do something stupid and bang it and break it, which totally happens because people are stupid. Mine has lasted flawless. Yeah. So if you were in the Hollywood squares right now, looking above you, you'd see Chris Rado.
I get to see the feed. This is great. This is fucking super cool.
And you see Chris Barnes. There's two Chris's now.
Okay, so Chris and Zach.
Hey, what's in the background? Is that Galaga in the background?
Yeah, we do have Galaga in the background.
Oh, what? Oh, my God.
Actually, there's a lot more than Galaga there. It's got like 5,000 games.
Oh, nice.
That's no fucking fair.
Just 5,000. Just 5,000.
Just 5,000.
We got the USB cheat card that gives you like every game they ever made, every arcade game. Pretty fun.
Like
Perfect.
a fucking, when you're 16, you'd be like over the fucking moon.
Well, that's a cheat code right there.
Or
Now we got all three of them. So
they're all there.
On camera, from left to right, is Chris Barnes, Chris Rado, and only his shoulder is Zach Carr. Now we see him.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Zach.
Hey guys, how you doing? What's going on, guys?
I've known the guy in the middle for over a decade. We met in New York at a conference when he was slanging his personally designed. I haven't used them in years. The 503, 505. What are they called? The old vape carts we used to use.
510.
510. There we
yes.
go. I'm such a doofus. The 510 vape carts, and he had designed them all, which was different than everybody else who was just selling whatever they had bought from a manufacturer. And his backstory is incredible. He not only drove drag race cars, he designed them.
Oh,
so
nice.
it just seems like a logical evolution, right? Because everybody that goes from designing race cars would now be designing the most effective electronic dab rig on the market.
Of course.
Right? That's just, I get from that point. It's just an easy jump for me. So,
Right.
but that's my relationship with Chris.
Listen, in engineering, cars are fucking number one with design and engineering, man. That's all there is to it.
They're my favorite.
It's where we start, man. As a kid, you fall in love with that stuff, and it's like, I don't care. Give me a wrench. I'm going to take it apart and put it back together.
My mom used to, when I was little, used to joke with everybody and tell them I was going to design cars someday, and I would look at her and say, "What do you know, lady? Like,
well,
what do you?" And then someday I got Matchbox cars, and my parents were so pissed because I cut them all to pieces because I discovered the hot glue gun. You know, when Dad discovered the hot glue gun, it was on, and my parents were screwed. I cut them all to pieces and. Like, they got to go back together differently. They didn't make them right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And I went straight to dab rigs.
That's a good jump.
So Cullen doesn't know. Pretend Cullen doesn't know anything about the DabX and the Go and the Rocket.
Because I don't.
Tell him all about it.
Well, you know, I wanted to create a platform first. You know, the Rocket came before the Go, and you know, it was really like, hey, so many people love to dab, and a lot of people I think are afraid to dab because of the blowtorch and stuff like that. So we wanted to come up with a platform.
You guys scaring people.
What are you talking about?
This guy over here, right here.
5 a.m.
Have an electronic experience with whatever kind of glass that they already own, something that they're familiar with, something they like, without having to pull out a torch and a banger. Make the process simple. From there, we realized we also needed to create an all-in-one. And there are a lot of things we wanted to do differently with an all-in-one device. We don't really agree with how a number of the devices, or actually all the devices, work. How the vapor path is the same as
because they suck.
So it's kind of nasty, and our technology works differently. Our vapor and our reclaim in the all-in-one go in opposite directions, allow for like the cleanest hits, really powerful hits. And it's super easy to maintenance. It's just a device designed like we wanted it to be something that even if you are new to dabbing or like this veteran OG dabber that's like, I can't smoke any of these electronic devices because I just can't get what I need. We wanted to bridge that gap. And that was the goal.
Just so you know, I've taken 6 hits of rosin out of this. Each one has tasted like the first hit. I haven't used a single fucking Q-tip. I clean it once every 6-7 weeks. It's It's just
he's a sloppy smoker.
No, I clean the glass. I change the water.
Dave, I think you got a brother in arms right here.
Yeah, fuck, I love this thing.
Never clean.
When I mean clean it, I don't soak the whole thing in alcohol. I take the little piece out in the middle. I rinse it in alcohol and hot water. It's done. It's not a full cleaning. I mean, I literally don't miss a dab. So
I got some good news. I finally got a video this week of our cleaning kits finally being finished up. We have a cleaning kit that we designed that we, ordered like 6 months ago, and they were having an issue with some of the vendors getting it just right because it's basically a glass jar that fits into the station that has a cap on it that comes with one of the atomizer mounts that go in the go. It's the only part that gets, the part, Dave, the only part that gets dirty, the atomizer mount.
The part with the little pieces on it.
What's that?
The part with the little holes on it that go on the bottom, or the part on the top? Yeah, that piece. Easy to clean.
So that literally, it comes with one of these and it screws right into this glass bottle that you have alcohol in. So basically you always have a clean stem ready to go. So anytime you decide that, hey, I need to clean my device, all you do is grab your cleaning kit, give it a shake, unscrew the cap, and hold it under hot water because the cap will have a clean stem in it that's been submerged in ISO the whole time. And all you do is rinse it off, dry it. You don't ever touch anything that's dirty. Screw the handle back into the go of the part that you're cleaning, screw it in, pull it out, put that directly into the glass jar, and take the clean one and put it back in the go. So there's like literally no cleaning time at all. The one cleans while you're done and smoking. The other one is basically ready to go.
I want one.
Those are finally getting done. We got a video of it was pretty cool. We should actually.
Glass is like hot.
Yeah, it was a video of the production line of the glass jars being made molten. You know what I mean? It's really cool.
And you made your jars, right? The way you made the insert is you can give the dimensions, or you don't give the dimensions. You give the actual piece to any glass blower. They blow their own tops to fit on them.
Oh yeah, we're happy to give dimensions, or we have inserts that are blanks that basically go right on top. They fit all the dimensions. They're the right diameter. The flange fits for the silicone and everything, and people can build on top of that. Yeah, we have those in stock. We're happy to send them out to people that want to experiment and do some cool stuff. Always. And we have them in like 2 different variations. One with with just the very base, and then one with at least the one inner.
Go in your Good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We know more than a few glass blowers that we'd like to introduce you to. That we'd love to see the.
Oh yeah, that'd
that
be
they
great.
make on them.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of them. We wanted to encourage people to do some cool stuff.
Cullen was thinking of taking up glass blowing because, people buying big ticket harvest items hasn't really been, to his expectations lately. So he figured he'd just become a glass blower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
now.
looking for a good quick course,
Quick.
New gig. Quick startup.
Quick's a good.
How to blow glass for dummies.
Well, he was really
that's
hoping.
what I need. Yeah, but it has to be a capital D for dummy though, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to start from zero.
Didn't work out. Didn't work out.
He was hoping that cannabis was going to stay $5,000 a pound, and everybody was going to go to Aruba.
100%.
Yeah, we were all going to buy an island together.
That was my plan. That was my retirement plan, guys. I don't know what to do next.
Really? Well,
we have these.
That's very cool.
Oh, look at that.
So basically, somebody can, this goes onto the silicone perfect, and they can build onto this any way they want.
Yep, this will be replaced by that piece, right?
So this is in here.
Right.
So this would fit perfectly back
on it.
You ever take
That's
it off
cool.
any
I mean,
sweet jumps?
that's a great concept. So you're hoping that people will kind of customize it and help the product grow, right?
Well, come on. You want a Jerome Baker glass bong, You want him to just blow something crazy.
It's the kind of the IBM thing, right? They're like, hey, look, everybody can make something to add on to it, make their own deal. You guys have the heart of it, and people can customize it and add a little flair or whatever.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. That's a great idea.
The architecture to be able to do that and make it pretty simple, make it robust, quality,
You're talking about those.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar, so I don't know. I'm going to look it up online so I understand exactly what's going on. But do you guys, what's your heating element? How's that whole portion work?
So our heating element is the catalog.
Oh, okay.
So it's all ceramic and titanium, and stainless steel. Very, very durable, pretty bulletproof. Now, what's different is say you load a big bowl in here. Say you load like a couple dabs, right? You can, after the first hit, it's ready for the second hit. And the second hit's flavor isn't diminished because not all the product that you put in there all got melted. Only the stuff on the bottom, which melted and went down along the sides, gets vaporized because that's the product that goes down to the higher heat where the heating element is actually getting hot. The top just gets warm to melt the product. So you can really fill it up to the top, and it'll slowly melt the product down and allow it to get vaporized along the sides. We have
instead of burning from the top and going down. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, that's very cool. Is that battery powered?
Yeah, this is in the rig.
That's very cool.
But yeah, so the product comes down, it melts, and then the air comes up and it vaporizes it, and the vapor comes up.
Interesting.
You can just take it off.
I love that. I love that stuff, man. Look, we're always inventors are always looking at stuff and going, how do I make that better, or how do I do that, and what's the right way to do that? And I love it. I geek out on that stuff. It's very cool.
Thank you. We
very nice
a lot of time R&D, and we're just trying to make the most reliable platform that delivers the tastiest dabs, one after another. The most reliable, easy to clean.
What's your price point? If you don't mind me asking, what's your price point on it?
Retail is $299.
That sounds fucking amazing. Are you kidding me? Like,
hold on.
Hold on. What I mean,
There's a done deal gets you 20% off. So whatever you were going to say, think of the price being 20% off.
Hey, Chris.
Well, there's always an angle, but I'm just saying that's a great price point. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, I've looked at a lot of those different rigs, and they all seem to be, to be in that kind of form factor is a little
Ours
bit
is
more.
the only one that comes with a waterproof, smell-proof, insulated carrying case that you can travel with the water in it. And,
Nice. That's nice.
it actually seals the water in it, so you don't have to worry about the water spilling, like it turns upside down.
I like the zipper.
Wow.
Here's the carrying case.
It's definitely waterproof.
And it's got a station that flips down in the
Do you
side
have the
here.
glass
So
in it?
This is
flips down in the side.
No, I'll show you.
I think it's empty right now.
Hey, Chris, where are you located at?
We're in California.
Oh, California?
Insulated.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
very cool.
Yeah, it comes with all this stuff. All the pieces come with it. All the silicone.
What's in it?
The stations, the silicone jars that flip down, so you can use it as a dab station. Everything comes with it, like I said.
That's great, man. That price point, that's an awesome deal.
The batteries are replaceable. Like you said, it comes with a spare atomizer and dab tool, and they're all titanium. No cheap materials, no platings, no coatings, no nothing. It's all either.
How long have you guys been? How long you been on the market with it?
This device we launched in the middle of November at MJ Biz.
Oh, we got the first ones at MJ Biz?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Listen, I loved it. I love it now. I loved it then. I love it.
We're only going to make it better. I can promise you that.
Hey, whenever you come to Colorado, please stop by and we will fit the best rosin in your great device.
Well, they also
It's
have
awesome.
this.
Yeah.
Well, you also have this cart that you gave me that you can fill with pen-ready oil.
That's awesome.
Oh, you got one of the go-karts?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. It fit the dabber and all the tools in it. It's a very thoughtful design.
Thank you.
Yep.
We have a bunch of cool new products coming out over the next year.
Cool.
Between the cleaning kit, we have a very unique heated dab tool. Ours is a tool, not a knife. Just want to make that clarification. And we're pretty excited about it. That's going to be coming in May. And we have, we have a bunch of accessories, a bunch of cool new things coming out. So it's going to be an exciting year to have a DabX.
And I'm hoping I'm asking a softball question, but did you resolve the handle on top of the?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Tell me how you did that, because this is the one point that I always find it a weakness in when I'm trying to pull it out.
It's funny. I finally got a picture today of the physical parts, the new ones, and basically what we did was that the top silicone piece that had the handle, that was two pieces, right? One silicone piece and a plastic handle that turned into three pieces. The big silicone chunk, most of that now is plastic with a plastic handle, so it's all rigid and it's fixed and it doesn't want to come out.
Nice.
And then the silicone is actually an insert underneath that goes inside the bong and around the bong, and it has some nice branding on it. It's really cool. And then the plastic slips over top. It's really nice.
Speaking of branding, I don't need to be, so point out the obvious, but your logo really looks like the show's logo. And it just begs. Right? I mean, shouldn't there be some type of collaboration, that puts
some royalty? There's got to be some royalty in
there. Are you talking about this?
No royalty, just an Adam. No royalty, just
It's
an
the
Adam
easiest
Dunn
collab
Show
ever. You just
collab.
go bum, bum,
A branded,
done
an Adam Dunn
It's
Show
an Adam
rig.
Dunn model.
Add the show's
You know,
logo.
we could definitely do an Adam Dunn flag model for sure.
Nice.
Yes.
Are we
That's
going to
awesome.
put Dutch Botanical on it?
I'm sure we could
we
negotiate
can work
that.
a deal.
Awesome.
We can work
You
deals.
know,
Something out. We know a guy.
see the guy sitting off camera playing on his phone all the time. That's Zach.
Zach?
That's the guy we're
You
gonna
gotta
have
keep
to.
an eye on that one.
We got to watch him. See him ducking off. Get him on camera a little bit. I want to see his face.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. He's
Slicker.
that's the guy right there. So,
Now, quick question: how to buy these?
Go to
DabX.com.
dabx.com.
Okay, website. Awesome.
Code done deal.
Would
That's
you
right.
mind spell it out?
DabX.com.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that's a.
I put it
Hey,
in
did
the
that
chat.
website cost you guys? I mean, that's a great.
Thank you. Yeah, it did cost us some money. Yeah, we're just lucky it was still possible.
Yeah,
Pretty
and nothing's
striking
free,
range.
right?
Yeah.
Little did the person that owned that know what a gold mine they had. While it did cost
Well,
something,
I'm pretty
it
sure
did
they knew
cost
exactly
something.
what they had.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Look,
That's
my
a
son
shame.
buys websites with rappers, up and coming rappers' names. That's what he does. He buys domain names of up and coming rappers. He's hoping to get lucky.
That's smart. That's very
amazing.
smart.
Look at you looking for some free advertising, Cullen.
Hey,
We are
just letting
marketing
you know.
geniuses on the Adam Dunn Show. We are.
Cullen, by the way, do you guys know each other?
We've never met. No.
Well, you should know each other because Cullen makes the best post, harvest equipment you'll find in the industry, from grinders, trimmers. Do you do joint rollers now?
Yeah, we have a cone machine that's pretty phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when you have
It's
it
kind
like
of one of those things like that we kind of jumped in that part of the market with everybody's expectation of needing to do I need to do 1 million cones a month, and I think everybody was dreaming.
no, you don't
most
need 1
people
million
aren't
cones. You
doing
need the
that.
ability to make a whole bunch of BHO and rosin. Like focusing on the market that says
we missed that. I have not gotten that side of the game, although we do have a pretty radical fresh frozen harvesting process that's pretty
There you
significant. Yeah, that's coming online.
That's awesome.
All right, well, Cullen, we're going to let you go because we're going to do the rest of our ads right now. But tell us, how does everyone buy a Green Bros?
You just go to greenbros.com, man. That's where we're at.
With a Z.
Super simple.
Where are you located again?
We're in Las Vegas, so when you find yourself out in Sin City, you can come by. We're happy to host.
Yeah, we'd definitely love to come by and say hello.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm always down with meeting guys that do this, man. I mean, I know what it takes to create a product. I know what it takes to bring it to market. I get it. And congratulations to you guys. It looks like a really cool product. And honestly, I know the difficulty to get where you're at. And congrats, man. It's awesome.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Colin, nice meeting you.
Thank you,
Yeah, nice
Cullen.
to meet
Yeah.
you. Sorry I was such a downer with all my bad news.
No, you weren't. You brought it back, man. You brought it back. You
All right.
absolutely did.
All right. Ciao.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Later,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
All right. Bye.
So this is how we tell how old people are, how long it takes them to hit the exit button.
Yeah,
I don't even know where I'm going. Get out of here.
It tells their
I'm waiting
age.
for you to do this for me, man. Come on.
We're doing it for you?
No, we don't do that.
we're
You
not-
have to
you're
hit
in
the.
charge,
If I
bro.
do it, then it bans you from us forever.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that.
Oh, wow.
It's weird.
You don't
It's a
want
very
to
serious
say.
thing. Unless they change that. I haven't tried to do it in a long time. Just tap it and hit end or leave.
Yeah, I'm not finding that one.
No.
Sorry. I'll work on it.
Really? Wow.
right.
Okay, well, then you're the oldest guy in the room
Hey,
for
guys,
sure.
See?
I am the oldest guy in the room, I swear.
No,
Maybe
Vinny's
Adam, but
almost
pretty
60.
close.
All right,
No,
here, we'll try and.
he's not.
No way.
In
you are.
3 years.
Anyways, hey, you know what we can do? There we go. Now I'm all screwed up because I was all ready to go.
Dum
Do it.
da dum da dum.
What's going on?
Okay,
No,
it's coming.
there we go.
All right. So hey, are we ready to do this thing or what?
Yeah, let's do some build the soil stuff.
Boom.
Yeah, that means it's like Pavlov.
Everybody take a dab right now. We just so you know, before we come back there, just so you know, our plan is to always have you guys on like once a month for a dab session at the end of the show, and we should be dabbing the same concentrate. We have to figure out a way to do that so that we can all experience the same flavor on the same rig. That's our intention.
Yeah.
But Chris looks concerned. Like, how
It's funny that you say that because, like, we're such nerds over here, and we've got, like, our second generation of stuff. We'll even be able to share settings at the same time.
Share settings. See? Look at that. We're all on the same page.
Settings. Nice.
Yeah, so you can try have the same product and be like say somehow you got a care package from some friend somehow.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And you're like, you have to try this like this. And it's like what? You'll be able to send a profile, but that will go right into the devices.
Adam.
Okay, I got it.
Real simple though.
It's a modern day drug deal.
Sounds good. Back to we were build a soil.
All right, build a soil.
Well, Dave was all like,
well, come on. I wanted to finish the thought, fucker.
Oh, thoughts.
Yeah, I heard about this brand name.
They work. But build a soil. Yeah, of course. You guys are, I'm sure, friends of Build a Soil, building up your.
Yeah.
Beds along
when
the,
it first got built out, they used that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jeremy's put under one roof pretty much all that's necessary to build your own soil, or he's got some great mixes himself, plus IPM products and some great ferments like from our buddy over at Miles there at the Fermented Plant Extracts Company. Those are dope. There's a couple other ones though. From J Plant Speaker.
Yep.
Those quinoa blends. That was really good. I got
we used their Jadam wedding agent product for a while. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So he's got it all there. And it's 855-877-SOIL if you want to call him.
That's the only way you get the done deal. You got to call.
That's the angle.
Is that 25% off from today?
10% off. 10% off.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought 25.
Yeah, no, well, you'll be handling that soon, but don't worry. Right now, it's 10% off.
You can. No, definitely worth it though because everything. It's like buying the best food for yourself too. It's like even if it costs. Product was a little bit more expensive to begin with. Plus, you get a little deal, and it's worth more. You know what I mean? Whose thing is that?
I think their mic is still on.
Oh, it's on.
Your mic's still on, DabX. Hang on, we'll be done with our ads in a second,
DabX.
and we'll all dab together.
DabX, Mike.
If you're a med patient and you live in Colorado Springs, head over to Green Farms Med or greenfarmsmed.com. Done deal right now is 10% on everything he has on the shelves, and he has products from all over the state, every concentrate maker, every edibles maker.
He's got Green Dot and all the good ones. He's like,
And that what's that hash insert? Did he get that yet? That
Oh, yeah,
Turbo Core.
Awesome. So they are medical dispensaries.
Yes. Well, they're in Colorado Springs. That's the only thing they have down there. But check that out.
They were hoping it was going to change, but
no.
Well, hopefully next year.
We'll see.
Let's see. Let's see. That's an interesting vote.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, we did Green Bros.
Yes, sir.
So you guys go, yeah. Oh, Apothecary Extracts, best BHO we could find. They've been a supporter and advertiser on the show for 4+ years right now. We have, they make ambrosia, they make rosin, they make pre-rolls. They actually sell 14er medical flour in cans at their Denver store, which is almost unheard of right now. So, and it's priced incredibly reasonable. They have a done deal down there. Just go ask for it. Mark can tell you all about their extraction process, as he's the reason why we have them as an advertiser. When I asked, who do you like? right now when you go into the store to buy something. And he said apothecary extracts.
Yeah, for sure. I've been signed over there for their med program ever since I've been here on the show, basically, and yeah, so I can attest to their quality.
Well, they're all over the fucking they're killing it.
Yep, exactly. And actually, every Friday they've been having a new drop of new flavors every week. So
they crush it, and they absolutely crush it.
Don't forget about they have the ambrosia vessels, which are grams of their disposable cartridges, but they're made out of hemp plastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're gram cartridges ready to go out the door.
And
Apothecary
today
Farms.
we have 10% off, or all the time.
No, theirs is a gram of ambrosia and an infused joint for $25 out the door. However, you can get 8 grams of apothecary extracts for $80 out the door at Hash House in Boulder.
Oh.
So if you live in Boulder, or if you just like Apothecary Farms, you can come and go to Hash House and get Apothecary there. So
are we jumping into that right now?
Well, no, I was just mentioning it. All right, there we go.
Okay. Apothecary Farms.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, guys.
Hey, look at this.
Guys,
we know this
look at
thing.
this.
Look at these guys.
Look at these guys.
These guys.
You see these guys?
These guys.
All right.
Right? These guys, dabbing has never been easier. Look at that. It almost didn't sound like I was reading it. Like I was just thinking.
No, that's this stuff.
He knew that wasn't possible, Dave.
So Chris sent me the rocket like 2 years ago, I want to say, right? Was it probably had to be, right? And so
Probably longer, yeah.
Longer. I've been a fan for a long, long time. And when we got the go in November, holy smokes. Again, big fan. Really don't like cleaning anything because I wasn't very good at it, and I really didn't do it as much as I should on the other rigs. And if you watch our fearless leader over here do dabs, it literally it's like a fucking Tootsie Pop, you know, where the fucking owl says it takes 3 licks and he's done. He really gets 3 dabs out of a gram. So you guys would hang well together, Chris. Trust me on this. Tell everybody just for a second who didn't hear earlier about the DabX. Quickly. It's the greatest. Either one. You have the floor.
I mean, they're just, DabX, the Go and the Rocket are just devices that we designed and made to make dabbing simple, easy. The Rocket, needed to exist because people are attached to glass that they have. We know that everybody has glass that they have and they love and they want to smoke out of. So instead of them having to pull out a torch, a blowtorch, where there's a lot of people that just aren't willing to do that. And if we could give people the ability to put this electronic device in any piece of glass that they want and turn it into an electronic dab rig, it just needed to happen. So we did that first, and then we did an all-in-one. But we decided to use, clean, medical and aerospace grade materials so that it's, that it doesn't degrade. All the materials are either stainless or titanium or ceramic. It's just quality, and it's about quality and consistency and flavor. And ease.
Sweet.
DabX.com.
It's great.
Tastes great, less filling.
Speaking of which,
and you guys should pay attention to this one. If you drink coffee, Ozo Coffee. They've been friends of mine for a long time, and they travel around. In fact, Justin right now is in Guatemala visiting on a small coffee farm. They've been such a loyal advertiser, and it's been the coupon code in 2022 was redeemed several hundred times. So ozocoffee.com and enter Done Deal 23. You get 20% off. It's not Done Deal anymore. It's Done Deal 23. Get the subscription. Just have it sent.
You'll be hooked.
You'll be hooked. It's it's most amazing coffee. You really should back it up with a good burr grinder and a good good either pour over or a good machine. But the burr grinder is very important.
I'm currently taking donations for a burr grinder.
Oh. Look at that.
Ozocoffee.com.
Ozocoffee.com.
I got one that needs to get fixed, actually.
Holy shit, they changed their website. So, listen, my son is one of the growers there, and 14er and I have gone way, way back to when I wandered into their dispensary in 2010, and they had this strain called The Truth, and I fell in love with it. And I asked them to cross that strain with Deadhead OG, and it became DJC.
DJC.
Which is what led me to come sit here. Anyway,
we've heard enough.
There, you can get the done deal there. Go get the done deal. You can. You have to place a pre-order.
Do your pre-order. It says pre-order your stash here.
Yeah.
And you click there and you do that.
I don't know if the done deal is going to work in April or work. Remember, it was for November, so we'll see about how it will work in April.
Right, well,
I mean, sorry, for March.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So let me talk to them and see, because I
thought we were in
realized
December for a second. I was like, oh shit.
All right.
Amazing flour, amazing rosin. They use apothecary extracts for their ambrosia. So head over to 14er in Boulder.
Nice.
There was it. Yeah. Stash Logics.
StashLogics.com. StashLogics with an X. Enter Done Deal at checkout. It's 20% off your order. In the state of Colorado, you really need an expectation of privacy. And if you don't have a trunk, you should have a Stash Logics. And if you have something, it should be in your trunk.
That's nice.
Okay, it's smell proof. It has a combination lock. You can't see what's inside it. All right. Jeff Guard's come on the show, and he says this is just the way you should travel with cannabis in your car. Even though it's legal, it should be in a trunk or in a Stash Logics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a done deal there.
20% off.
Do it.
Things in there. Boom, boom.
Pegasus bags.
Holy moly. If you're growing psilocybin in a legal state or even in an illegal state, however, you just want to test, right? That's the way it works. You can't really apply. Anyway, just go to Pegasus Bags.
You can grow gourmet mushrooms in bags too.
That's
There's
what I
certain
meant.
things too. So
Exactly.
You can use these bags for many things, many stages of your grow, and also it looks like the plastic eating fungi is back too.
Oh yeah,
Plastic eating fungi.
He's going to be in town for 420 as well.
Yes,
but,
sir.
But Pegasus Bags, they do one bag or like 5,000. Plenty of people are ordering 5,000 right now. So just go to PegasusBags.com or at Pegasus Bags on Instagram. There's a done deal right now that I'm forgetting how much it is, but I think it's 15% or 10%. Anyway, it's really worth it. Might be more than that.
Pegasus Bags.
Pegasus Bags. Best pre-rolls in California. I really need to get them on so they can really tell us all about them. But it's not the flower, it's the process for them. So they'll turn your flower in California into a fucking amazing pre-roll. I was very impressed. Not really a pre-roll guy. I like to roll my own joint. But we tried them in Vegas. And they were really on point.
Yeah, they were definitely. He was obsessed with rolling joints. Like, he knew he was talking, laminar flow on the joint edge, and I was like, all right, you got it. He knows everything. So, no, he definitely was like, took joints seriously.
Check him out on Instagram. We'll have him on the show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Sweet. Hempin.co.
Oh, Vinny.
What?
This should be really Vinny's advertisement since
No,
he's
this
the
is
one
where
that...
we eat in the chocolate for sure. We add some of Two's Hempin in
Just
there.
go to hempinco.com.
Hempin.co.
If you need any
Hempin.co.
CBD products, and even he's got some pet-friendly ones.
Order the tiger's blood.
Unflavored hempin.
Not the tiger's blood for the pets, but
No.
he has pet-friendly
Pet-friendly.
ones that are not tiger's blood.
Hit him up in this contact us.
They sound
and,
like it, but it's
let him know you want the done deal.
Yeah, done
Is it
deal.
still 2 for 1, or how does it work?
Should be a twofer. Should be
You
a
gotta put
twofer.
it in the comments.
Yeah, you got to put it in the comments of your order, I guess.
Yes.
That's what,
And you get-
maybe I'm telling you the wrong things.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Twofer. Meaning
Twofer.
It's a twofer.
You
Yeah.
get an extra one no matter what.
Sweet.
Which is always a deal.
Hempin.co. Get the done deal.
I gotta say, best product best new sort of little
Tchotchke.
additive tchotchke that can be on every conference table.
We just let the landlady use one.
And what'd she think?
I was impressed.
It saved us from COVID. Okay, I can't make a
know how
medical
worried you
claim.
were
I
about
can just say, this is a fantastic product. You take one tip, which they say you can use for 10 joints or 10 sessions. I've used it longer.
I'm
I
sure
haven't had a
there's
problem.
somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, they get all dark, but I'm sure.
One and done thing.
No. You keep one of these.
The idea is you put it in instead of put it around. You don't put it around it and burn it down.
And that's the way we've been
You don't
smoking.
share it. You don't share it. You just keep your own. So there's 4 in there. You figure.
Can I try with this one? Just to show how it works.
You really, you
34.
don't want to try with that, but I will. How about that? You don't have to, only if you want to. But I remember last time
It was her first time smoking last
But
time.
Yeah.
when
I
you're
give
around a
myself
bunch of,
lots of
bunch
credit for
people,
that,
it's-
yeah.
It starts like we
was
didn't
great.
realize it, and we had like
It was
me,
good.
him, her, and then COVID. Boom, not her, but we had like
Yeah, I
that
know.
situation, and it was like next day we were like, "You what? Huh? No," and then we all were good. So it worked.
I made it all the way through Barcelona using one of these, and then there was even a
All
time
the way.
where somebody needed to use a dip device, and the tip fell out, and this fit right into it.
Jonah.
So,
Shout out to
I mean, fucking shout out to the dip devices guys.
This is universal.
So
YoTip.com.
YoTip.com. Enter done deal at checkout. Oh man, I should know, right? Is it 15, 20% off?
Something.
Come on, I'm
you need
sorry.
to write it down, man.
I'm no good at that,
Dude,
man. I should have a producer, that knew that shit.
That would write that down, right?
Because it would be too much
Yeah.
pressure for me to know that
Yeah.
stuff.
So I can't totally juggle everything else at the same time, too. That's cool.
15%.
Yeah, it's worth it. This is such an amazing product. Give it a try. It aerates your joint, and it's safe to smoke, pass a joint around without really passing a joint around.
And it's also because it's like birch, fast-growing birch that's all farmed, so it's not a big deal to throw it away. But you can still, definitely a couple joints.
I use them a
Once
couple times for sure.
Depends how if it's super
I'll give you a
resiny and it
whole
gets
pack
all
of
gummy, then obviously toss.
You don't taste the previous joint and the next joint.
Not too bad off the first two, first 2
I should
joints.
throw it in the worm bin.
Third
so-
joint.
I really
third
don't
I'd
use
say
it more than
more.
3 times.
I wouldn't
There you
do.
go.
Well, no, I wouldn't do. Yeah.
Compost it.
It's sealed.
And it's like because it's going in and out. It's just more like when you share it. If you're by yourself, it's like then it's more.
If you're by yourself, you can just roll it into the.
You take the joint
Oh,
off
yeah.
the
and
tip.
just like a.
I wasn't even thinking.
Yours is behind your camera.
Where's that? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Actually,
YoTip.com.
That's my
YoTip.com.
old one. That's
Cultured
that's
Biologics.
Cultured Biologics.
Cultured Biologics.
Got a bunch of new products from Tim the other day. It was awesome. He's got like a new aloe root stimulating thing that looks really dope. And he's game. I told it was a fungicide that's a terp derived fungicide, which is interesting, and a whole bunch of other shit. So check them out at culturebiologics.com. And if you go onto his Discord channel, it's like popping off all the time. He just lowered his prices by 40%. So
Cultured Biologics.
really good time to jump in with his product line because I'm running all of it, and it's like 100% water soluble, carbon based. Kind of hits all the bells and whistles that you need as far as like it's organic, and so it's like, okay, this is interesting. You can use it pretty. It comes out clean too. I've seen test runs with it, and I'm just like, damn, runs clean.
How many what's the dosage on it?
It has for instance, I think about 4.5 grams to 5 grams maybe per gallon of average of your main component, and then calcium would be about 40% of that, depending on maybe a little up and down there, and then might be a PK. It depends on PK oriented kind of product at that point. So there's like 3 different, but that's only like 1 point something grams, per. So it's not high dosage or anything like that.
Right.
It's not crazy, and you don't have to run it every single cycle either, too. So it's like you don't have to do it like 4 times, four or 5 times possible. So it's not like and it's really nice. It's like flavor profile wise, you notice it, like you see differences. It's not always, it's no blanket flavor. So good shit. But Tim's gonna come on in 2 weeks, and he's gonna do he's awesome because
he'll tell us all about it.
He will, but also he will. But in a sense, I want him. The thing about him is he explains a lot of real high level shit in a good way that you're like, okay, it makes a lot of sense now. And obviously, he's got lots of cool products which you can hype at any given moment. But I want to do something where I put him more in this sort of like question. I want to get some good questions coming in from people that are so I'm not just,
especially if you're stumped somewhere and you need help with something.
Yeah,
and he's the guy to ask.
He can really figure it out, because the thing that's funny is he comes in from such a high level as a chemist and working with big corps that are just not what his angle was at all. That it's like you can really see the passion and all that, and so we can always talk about that part. That's obvious. And he has his own Discord channel that's really active and really good community of people that are starting to figure it out. And it's funny too, because I have friends of mine on the East Coast who I was like, oh, okay, so they already figured it out without even knowing that they don't watch the show. But I was talking to them, and I was like, oh, you should check out this thing. It's it's exactly what I'm running, So it's getting into that organic growers who are looking, they're not it's not about because you can't always build everything and move in a commercial situation. So this is kind of like people who are all right, I have to come in with a program, and this is a good program. It's probably the best program I've seen. So anyway,
Biologics.
2 weeks. Tim. Speaking of Mr. himself, this is where this all started.
This is where these guys came from.
This is where they started. This is where I came from.
They are living solo.
They were born.
We didn't plan it this way, just so you know. I mean, it was.
I really respect their products and their process of doing living soil as well.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Dutch Botanicals in a minute, but it kind of speaks to your prowess that they're, your acumen. They're all working. All the people who came down from there, you pay your dues in places. You paid your dues. You move on. That's the way it is. I worked in sales for years. Yeah. The only way you made more money in sales was to get a different job, or you sold more. Okay, so you renegotiated a contract at the next place you went to. That's how industry works. That's capitalism. Okay, so I fault no one for that. But Verde Natural is still crushing it right now, crushing with their flower and their Dab Logic rosin is so on point. Denver and Boulder, you can get the done deal if you place a pre-order. You get 15% off, right? I mean, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think it was
nothing is correct.
Yeah,
nothing is correct.
I don't think I am anymore.
You just go to their pre-order, enter done deal. Okay, that you can't walk over to the counter and get it. You have to know what you want. Just buy from the menu
before you go there. Then
you'll get a discount, and then just don't be standing there going, "I got the done deal." Blah 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 blah.
No
derpy derps.
No.
Okay, this rosin. I've never seen Vinny get so excited about when I show up with rosin. It really is something. We'll film it next week. So it's not exclusive. But Dab Logic rosin. Holy moly!
It's a spectacle.
Look at it.
That is good.
VerdeNatural.com. Enter done deal at checkout.
I love their cards. Their new cards look awesome.
Everything. We've had Julian on. He knows his shit. We've had Chuck on. Chuck is the legend.
Yeah. Live from the jungle.
VerdeNatural.com. Get that pre-order.
Well, he should be back soon.
He'll be back.
Yeah. So this is the only way to get it, okay? www.terpwipes.com/done deal. That's it. No need to enter a code. Discount is calculated. Get the subscription. End of story.
You need them. Do it.
Get it. So you guys, I introduced you guys tonight. I saw you guys chatting back and forth. So Tim at Bio365, he is your solution right now. So
is Tim here?
Nope, not here.
Okay.
But he's
virtually here.
He's always virtual.
So he's virtually here.
I'm just the guy that sees the smiles on people's faces after I introduce them to Bio365. So I'll take that position any day of the week at bio365.com or send an email to donedeal@adamdunnshow.com. If you're a commercial grower, we'll get you in touch with Tim. Tim will solve your problems. It's as simple as that.
Heard great things about them.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about them for years now. Yeah.
Organic or cocoa, they have your soil solution. So
Awesome.
they're experts in what they do. Again, I just see the smiles on people's face. He runs their product, so it's what are you gonna say? Adam Dunn runs it.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. If Adam runs it, oh my gosh.
Bio365.com.
Hardly. Right here.
Oh.
Don't get excited. This is where Dave gets really possessive.
Yeah, don't play the peanuts sound, Vinny. Don't. Whatever you do, Vinny, don't play the peanut sound. Numbnutsco.com.
Do it.
That's how you order their CBD peanut butter, their almond butter, their dog peanut butter. But if you want their THC peanut butter, you have to be a medical patient in the state of Colorado. Find it at a medical dispensary. You got to ask for it by name. It's 1,000 milligrams. It's fucking amazing. Fucking landlady's like all excited, right?
Yeah,
she has some right there.
Oh,
come on!
I don't know if it's even.
It could be old. Careful.
Yeah, that's why I told her to ask him.
Don't get careful. It could be old.
Because it could be old.
So that what that means,
maybe saving
Mr. Adam at Numbnuts, we need some.
Yeah.
We need some.
Watch out.
The
That
done
could be
deal
old. What's
is
going on?
Numbnutsco.com.
Yeah,
Found some old
numbnutsco.com.
nuts. She found old nuts.
We already told you how you can win a free lamp next week. Send an email to donedeal@adamdunnshow.com and totally
Jackson
butcher
Town.
the spelling of Mateo.
Oh, not S.
Midsteo.
Don't do that. That's already done.
Midsteo. Butcher it. And Jack will be in town next week. Hopefully we'll keep him in town for Friday.
Jack Friday? What do you think? I was thinking. No.
We'll see.
Maybe. Ooh.
Maybe.
He's going to leave right at 4 o'clock. He's going to leave at 4 o'clock on Friday. I
right
guarantee
before
you.
we
Right
start.
before the,
But anyway, their lighting is spot on. Their lensing technology is second to none.
Yeah.
They're one of only 4 factories right now that are making LED technology. So if you're a commercial grower and you would like a professional to help you spec their garden, they'll send in a lighting engineer to tell you exactly how many you need, where you need them, what height they should be at. It's not the same as growing with HID. It's a little bit different. They can help you get there. Just take a look at them. Follow them on Instagram. They show results. And Jack would happily work out an arrangement with you where he'd show you the rebates on installing LEDs right now. So I think it's like in some places 80% of your investment is going to be paid back to you in a rebate. It's really unbelievable right now. So get in touch with them, especially if you're planning on expanding or adding new lamps or lamping a new facility. There you guys.
And
ZZGZ.com.
Yes, sir. If you want to get about 70 plus breeders under one roof, you got it here at seedsherenow.com. You go to them and check in with Done Deal. You can't use the Done Deal if there's already on sale, so
No double done deal.
no double done deals yet. We tried. We always try. But a lot of, like I said, with 70 to choose from, millions of specials, and like I said,
don't see your face yet.
I'm way at the bottom.
SeedsHereNow.com. Enter Done Deal at checkout. But you know what? You go a little further. There he is. Look at you. You didn't even stop. Holy shit.
I did stop.
You stop.
I literally stopped.
It doesn't matter.
I literally stopped.
No,
zoom in. There you go.
I used to have a
How you like
beard.
that?
That used to be me.
Look
That used
at
to be me
that.
back in
Yeah,
the
we
day.
gotta get a clean shaven one.
Jenny
now.
doesn't
I
know.
know.
People come into the show sometimes and they're like, "Is Adam going to be here soon?"
No, not here.
And they're like, "Wait, no, he's
I'm
he's
gone.
decided he's not here
I'm
on the show
gone now.
anymore." It's body double.
Anyway,
if you go to shnauctions.com, that's where you're going to find seeds where really they made it through the process of everybody who popped previous beans, never had a problem. You know, so they became those rare and hard to find packs. You get a bid on them, you go to shnauctions.com. No done deal there, just knowing about it. That's your done deal.
And there's your super done deal over at the.
Which
has no done
nice.
deal. But this is all the merch stuff.
That was
from
me.
us.
That was me.
Which one?
Wearing all of them.
Yeah, that's Dave right
that's
there.
Dave right there.
He's modeling all this stuff.
Yellow one.
I like the pink one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I can
You can go
touch my
there
feminine side.
and check out all the different models of. Yeah, we have a bunch of designs we did back in the day.
I don't know if I approve that.
Dude, that is MTI right there.
It looks so much.
That's
like,
you?
Yeah.
Right there.
Holy shit!
I know. Look at him.
Doing the green
No,
one.
that's
kid-
older
the
MTI.
kid
That was chubbier MTI.
Whatever.
MTI and the kid.
I'm working on it.
It looks just
Settle
like
down.
No, you were chubbier then.
I know. I like pizza though.
Okay then. Your meeting with Jenny is Monday morning, 7 a.m.
Right.
No, Sunday.
Sunday. Oh.
Yeah, so check that out.
AdamDunnShow.com.
That's
right.
cool.
Do they actually have to enter done deal? Is there a done deal on the
I
down?
don't-
there's
I
no
don't know.
done deal.
Oh, that would be funny if there was a done deal.
I know.
You can't get
Now
a
I
double
see
done
the
deal.
logo.
Done
looks
deal's
really
known
similar
about it,
to
right?
the
Right?
DabX.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, that brings us to we're going to the Patreon now.
Yeah, DabX, their battery died. Apologies. But thank you guys from Dutch Botanicals for coming in. It's
And-
always a pleasure. You're always welcome. Appreciate the flour
I have to
and
do the
the
Patreon.
rosin. We have Patreon. To do.
Patreon is going to go for an hour, so you should
An hour. And you know what we have, everybody?
What?
I see her right there. I'm looking right at her.
What's that?
We're gonna maybe have the landlady come sit down with us.
That would be great.
You
Yes.
know,
Come over here.
Well, we will for Patreon.
Mhm. And I want to take a couple minutes to appreciate our team's collaboration with Caesar. And JJ can talk about the new braided strain that we have and how much it helped with the hash part.
Yeah, I wanted to bring him on earlier so we could talk about the some of the hunt we did with the ZZGZ and the NYC Jeezy. You know, he did all the work. I just got to flour out some beans. So, you know, I wanted to come bring him on, say thank you again. You know, these are awesome genetics, and I wanted to talk about that. You know, let him know.
Thanks for
we're-
guys coming on.
Thanks for
Everything you
coming on.
shared was delicious.
Thank
It
you.
was
All
awesome.
the herbs.
really beauty.
Yeah, great
Thank you.
job. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is we finish the show, but then we're gonna come back after like 10 minutes and go on to
Whole hour.
onto Patreon. So if you guys want to chill and want to talk more about that, then you want to hang out.
for
If you want to
sure.
hang out for another hour, you guys can both come back. Just stay there.
Yeah, just take the torch over there.
Just
go
chill
get it.
out for a
Fucking
second, and then we'll have more time and we can chill.
Yeah.
chill and talk.
I really
That'd be
like
cool.
the cookies and
And then-
cookies and the bagels.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, the cookies
yes.
and the
I
bagels.
gotta take some bagels home. Definitely.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
All right,
you're-
Mark's
oh,
like, I gotta pee. All right, good night.
Everyone's gonna
Alright.
be gagging up in bagels.
Say goodnight.
Well, thank you so much.
beautiful wife,
go.
Susie.
Yeah.
I'll let Adam
Thanks
say
again.
goodnight,
Of course.
You know, he's the host and all.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for coming through. Thanks all the sponsors, and we'll see you guys next week. And I'll see you on Patreon if you're there in the next 10 minutes. So, peace out.
Peace.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it